Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. An MRI on Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez showed he has a left elbow flexor strain. He's been put on the injured list, ensuring he will not be available for the start of the American League Division Series in 10 days. Packers quarterback Jordan Love limited at practice as the team gets ready for the Vikings on Sunday. If he's out a third straight game with a sprained MCL, Malik Willis starts again. And it won't be easy against a Minnesota defense the Purple People Eaters of the 1970s would be impressed with. ESPN NFL analyst Jason McCourty.
They're sending guys all over the place at you, or they're dropping them in coverage, and the quarterback has to figure it out after the snap. For Malik Willis and this Packers offense, if he's out there, they may decide to go some tempo, getting on the ball and going fast, trying to slow down the pressure that Brian Flores can bring.
Defensive coordinator Brian Flores' unit leads the NFL with 16 sacks. Connecticut Sun guard DeJounte Carrington won the WNBA's Most Improved Player Award. She and the Sun host the Indiana Fever Game 2 first-round playoff series tonight, 7 Eastern ESPN, followed by Game 2 of Phoenix and Minnesota.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why a Cowboys win against the Giants won't save the Cowboys season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Greenie.
Hump day.
Like, we're literally supposed to have Greenie right now. I think
we don't have Greenie yet.
I think we're gonna have Greenie.
It's not here yet.
It's hump day.
Greenie wrote a book.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Supposed to start the show with us.
Hump day.
Busy guy.
It's hump day.
Lot going on.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No call.
Hump day.
No call.
Willie?
No call.
Okay.
It's hump day.
All right, we'll talk some Falcons with Zinno next hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Brandon Marcello in hour number 3.
Hump day.
It's a Bourbon Dictionary Whiskey Wednesday.
It's hump day.
We got Pluckers trivia.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Otter Locks.
Hump day.
We got a lot to do. So
it's hump day.
Let's get to it. All right, glad you're aboard with us here. Again, Mike Greenberg scheduled to join us here in just a quick minute. As soon as he calls. I know he's on another interview before he jumps on with us, so we'll get him as soon as we can. Right now, let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, the big news on Tuesday was that the New Orleans Saints found that Eric McCoy, their starting center, of course, was going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a groin surgery. And Tuesday is a day off in the NFL, so it's typically, if you're going to work out players and try to go through tryouts, you would do it on Tuesday, and come to find out, the Saints did, in fact, do that. They brought in 4 offensive linemen for workouts on Tuesday and ultimately decided to sign Chris Reed to their practice squad. Now, Chris Reed's a guy that's been around the NFL for a long time. He has played in parts of 8 NFL seasons. Most recently, he was with Minnesota the last 2 seasons, 2022, 2023. But the last time he was really like a consistent starter was 2020 and 2021 in Indianapolis. He started 14 games with the Colts in the COVID year and then started 6 games in 2021. He's a versatile guy, right? I mean, he can play left guard, right guard, but he's also played at center. In 2022, he played 124 snaps there. So when you look for swing linemen, you look for these guys that could play any of the interior spots. Lucas Patrick is a great example of that for the exact reason that we saw on Sunday. When Eric McCoy went down with injury, Lucas Patrick, who's a veteran at both guard spots and at center, kicked in seamlessly. You also know you've got Cesar Ruiz there, who was a center at Michigan, probably his most natural position, but Eric McCoy's been such a good center. You're not going to move a Pro Bowl center, so Ruiz has had to learn to play right guard. A guy like Chris Reed, signing him gives you that versatility on the interior. If something should happen to Lucas Patrick, well, maybe instead of kicking Cesar Ruiz down to center and now affecting 3 spots on the interior, maybe a guy like Reed could go in and play center. Cross that bridge if and or when you get there. Most pertinent is that Reed's been signed to the practice squad. So we're fully expecting that the Saints are going to put Eric McCoy on IR with the designation to return from IR after his surgery and rehab whenever he's able to return. But they did not sign Reed to the active roster. So he's not on the 53. He's on the practice squad. So if they wanted to activate him for a game, they would have to sign him to the 53-man roster. In theory, you could put Eric McCoy on IR and then sign Chris Reed to the active roster. It's also worth mentioning you have a veteran in Shane Lemieux, who's a similar guy, a veteran player, versatile, rotational interior guy that's currently on your practice squad. You could choose to sign Lemieux because he's been with your team, knows the system, knows the offense, the terminology a little bit better, just maybe a more seamless transition. There's options there, I guess is the case in point, but they're not done with the roster moves because while you added Chris Reed to the practice squad, once you do formally put Eric McCoy on IR, which they're going to do, you're not going to allow a guy that's not going to play for you for 2 months to eat up an active roster spot. So once they do, we'll find out who ultimately they're going to sign onto the active roster, and that'll happen. I would presume that has to happen before this week. You're not going to go to Atlanta essentially forfeiting a spot on your active roster with Eric McCoy sitting there. So we'll see what they do in eventuality when they do make that decision. Chris Reed, actually, Muse dug this up. He does have experience of moving to center and guard and from center to guard. It's something he's done, as we mentioned, in 2020, 2021, he was with the Colts and he played guard in 2020, started 14 games. In 2021, he ended up playing center. This was Chris Reed back in August of 2021 in Indy when he moved from guard to center.
Basically, it's just, you're making calls now a lot more at center than you are guard. And then also just technique's a little bit different, and you're obviously touching the ball. So it's kind of a big deal, but it's always snap first and go from there.
I think the biggest question that I have, we'll see how it all ultimately plays out, but I think the biggest question that I have is hypothetically, if you do get into a situation where either Lucas Patrick struggles at center or is injured and you have to replace him, are you moving Cesar Ruiz to center or are you moving a guy like Chris Reed? Provided he's signed to the active roster and is activated on game day, you move him to center. Now, knock on Formica, we hope that doesn't happen. One of the real benefits this week the Saints have is they have an entire week of getting Lucas Patrick ready to be the starting center. I mean, last week before Philly, he was getting ready to be the starting left guard against the Philadelphia Eagles. And 3 plays in, boom, all that week of preparation's out the window, and now he's your starting center for the duration of the game, trying to block Jalen Carter. Good luck, kid. Sorry. It's actually not that different just in principle from what we saw, if you remember, Jameis Winston's first year in New Orleans when Drew Brees got hurt. It would have been the COVID year, wouldn't it have been, in 20? Brees got hurt. Winston went in during the game to replace Brees, but in the next game week, Taysom Hill took all the first-team reps at quarterback to be your starting quarterback. And the reason is because you went through that whole game week, that whole week of preparation for that opponent, with Taysom Hill having a package in the game in his Taysom role. Well, Brees gets hurt. If you would have taken Taysom into quarterback there, then you're not only missing Brees, but now you're missing Taysom in the role that he had prepared for the whole week and making him a quarterback. So that's why Jameis, if you remember that game, went in and played quarterback, and then next week Taysom started. So similar here, although it will be Lucas Patrick, I would presume, is going to be the starting center for the Saints in Atlanta. But at least now he gets a full week at that position, ready for this opponent at that position. So it'll certainly benefit New Orleans. But again, if something were to happen, do you move Cesar Ruiz from guard to center? Or do you have someone on your roster like Reed or maybe Shane Lemieux who could slide in at center if you ended up needing someone there? So, look, I mean, I'll look at it this week in particular with Atlanta. You know, who you're going to have active. You know it'll be Fuanga, Oli Udoh, Lucas Patrick, Cesar Ruiz, Trevor Penning. Most likely, of course, Nick Saldiveri, Landon Young. I guess those would be your 7. Typically, you're going to carry 8, so 1 more. Do you want someone who's a designated center? Do you sign Shane Lemieux from the practice squad? Do you sign Chris Reed on a short week to your active roster? We'll see ultimately what they elect to do. But a little bit of musical chairs there on the offensive line for New Orleans, but they've added one piece that we know now in Chris Reed, who's been signed to the Saints practice squad. No doubt as this week goes along, they'll have a clearer picture of what they're going to do when they get ready for the Atlanta Falcons. We'll get to the injury report as well. The first injury report of the week is out, so we'll let you know how it all panned out. There were 2 very notable absences, I could tell you. Our guy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net was at practice. Alvin Kamara, Alante Taylor among those not at practice today. So hopefully nothing serious. We'll see how it goes as the week goes along, but a couple of notable players there that were absent for New Orleans here on Wednesday. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers as well. Drink easy. Hey, 1 week from Monday, we will be at L'Auberge in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook for AFR and for a game watch for Saints-Chiefs. Come out and join us. We're going to be giving away, starting next week, we're going to be giving away 8 VIP experiences. It's our 8 winners plus a guest. You'll have VIP seating at the sportsbook. You'll have free food. You'll have all the Bud Light you can drink. It'll be a great night. We'll watch the Saints hopefully pull an upset there at Kansas City. Make sure you're tuned in. We'll tell you starting next week how you can win those VIP seats. And even if you don't win, still make plans to come join us over at L'Auberge for AFR and for Saints-Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the Tigers and the Saints. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back. Greeny, maybe not.
I don't know if he's going to call.
Yeah. He'll call.
Okay.
He'll call. I'm sure he'll call. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to call.
He'll call. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. Do it, people, in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Great resource to go to the website. If you want to start that process, you can. You'll go to the website. You see the little red button there. It says Get Gordon. Hit that tab. You can start that process online. If you want to talk to someone, they have all of their offices manned 24/7, 365. So you can always give them a ring at 888-8888 with offices all over the state of Louisiana. You can call any of their offices any time of day. Just call 888-8888. That's 888-8888. You want to see testimonials and client results? It's all right there for you at the website. As Gordon always says, big or small, We handle them all over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Car wrecks, maritime accidents, personal injury, slip and fall, truck accidents, workers' comp. They got them all, and you could read about so many of their great testimonials. More than $2 billion in damages collected. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It'll probably be Trey Ed. Yeah, I like, he, like I said, iron sharpen iron, so he wins some reps, I win some reps. At the end of the day, we're getting better.
That's bold. LSU freshman safety Deshaun Spears was asked who he likes to go against in practice, and he said Trey Green. Trey Green is 6'7", 245. I don't care who you are at safety or anywhere. That's a giant mismatch. But Trey has flashed a ton, but so is Deshaun Spears, one of the freshmen that we talked about in fall camp. I was dead wrong on this. I told you I thought that Deshaun Spears would be starting by November. It's September, and he's starting. So I was way off. Knew he would be a starter, though. You just see the talent there, and they're going to take their lumps and their growing pains with the young guys. It was interesting that the freshmen were made available to the media, which is such a one-off or an outlier. Freshmen very seldom are ever allowed to talk to reporters for years. Nick Saban, Les Miles always had that rule that freshmen were never allowed to speak to reporters. Occasionally, if there were a real impact guy, under Ed Ogeron, we could, I think Stingley maybe once or twice all year spoke to reporters. And look, he was an All-American. It got to the point where, he was a legit Thorpe candidate, and you had to let him speak. He was incredible. So it's just rare that you hear from freshmen, but Ahmad Bro, Kyle Parker, Deshaun Spears, and Trades Green all met with reporters. Green, just his story is pretty incredible, and it just the timing. Matt McMahon is literally. We were coming in studio, and Matt McMahon was meeting with reporters out at LSU previewing their season, and he was asked about Trades Green and said he's primarily focusing on football. When the football season ends, then they'll maybe have a conversation with basketball. But Trades even talked about this, like his football career just started 2 years ago.
I just started playing football in the 10th grade, and I started it for fun. And I just took off with it. I was like, maybe I'm good at this, so maybe I got something going for myself. I could do it.
Said he just took up football for fun and immediately got offered by the University of Houston in football, and then immediately got offered by the University of Houston in basketball. So, by the way, Houston has won more games in basketball the last 2 years than any other program in the country. So it's not like they just hand out offers at Houston basketball there with Kelvin Sampson. So you got to be good. And, I think one of the things that we're all going to have to watch with Trades as the football season ends for his freshman year, you get toward basketball, if he does in fact go over there with Matt McMahon's squad, Trades is on the record saying it, man. His first love is basketball. He's like, he just told you, he's only played football since his 10th grade year. He just did it to do something and just was like, oh, I'm good at it. Maybe I got a future here. So we'll watch this and see, because he has the potential to be special in football. And this as well as I do. Sometimes you might have trouble telling an 18-year-old this and having them really get it, especially when you've been so dominant at both things for as long as you've done them. When you're 6'7", 245, and is as athletic as he is on the football field, you are a problem, man. When you're 6'7", 245 on the court, you're just another guy out there. I'm not saying you can't be awesome at 6'7", 245, but everybody's 6'7", 245. You have guards that are 6'4" in basketball. I mean, it's just different. So that's going to be one that there's no doubt over the next calendar year we're going to have to follow, certainly over this school year. As this football season ends and overlaps with basketball, if Trades does, in fact, join Matt McMahon's basketball squad after this football season, how does it go? Does he stick? All of that is still very much to be determined, but it's a storyline we're going to have to watch because his upside on the football field is incredible. I mean, he has the otherworldly upside potential as a tight end, as one of those hybrid tight end receivers. What is the ceiling like in basketball? What does he want to do? So we'll continue to follow all that. It was cool to get to hear from Trades, Deshaun Spears, Ahmad Bro, and Kyle Parker when they met with reporters on Tuesday night. Much more from those guys when we start hour number 2. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. I want to remind you real quickly about Supper Club, and then I do want to talk about this UNLV saga that's ongoing. So it's Wednesday, which means tomorrow, Thursday, is when they're busting open another premium bottle of wine. I love what they're doing over at Supper Club. I've been telling you about this. So after the storm a couple of weeks ago, they had their own version of a hurricane party. So they decided a couple of weeks ago to bust open a bottle of a Chateau Mouton, and it's a $3,700 bottle of wine. And they sold it by the ounce. Because most people are never going to go to a restaurant. Most of us will never go to a restaurant and buy a $3,000 bottle of wine. Like, I love rare whiskey. I'm not buying a $3,000 bottle of whiskey, ever. It's not doing it. But I'll go to a bar that has premium offerings and buy it by the ounce to be able to try it. So Supper Club essentially did the same thing. And so now they're introducing every week their prime wine by the ounce. This week, tomorrow, Thursday, 2014, Chateau Mouton Rothschild, 99 points. The menu price, $37.50. It's a $3,750 bottle of wine on their menu. They're selling it by the ounce for $60 an ounce. So if you want to try one of these rare, exquisite wines you may otherwise never have the opportunity to try, you can do it this Thursday and every Thursday at Supper Club. So remember, open seating at the bar. You don't need a reservation. You just walk in. You can sit at the bar. You can order a pour of the wine. If you're not into wine, no worries. You can have a great cocktail, craft cocktail. You can have a premium glass of whiskey if that's what you want. And the best steak, most exquisite meal you'll have in Baton Rouge, in Louisiana, or darn near anywhere. It's Supper Club. Get your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. by now you've probably seen this story that's floating around. It started to pop off this morning. There's a UNLV player. He's their quarterback, as a matter of fact. His name's Matthew Sluka. And he tweeted this morning that he was leaving UNLV. And this thing has gone viral since, because not just that he's leaving UNLV, but the reason for which he is leaving UNLV. Paul, you could pull this up if you wouldn't mind. So he tweeted a thank you graphic and a note on it as well. And he wrote, "I've decided to utilize my redshirt year and will not be playing in any additional games this season. I committed to UNLV based on certain representations that were made to me, which were not upheld after I enrolled. Despite discussions, it became clear that these commitments would not be fulfilled in the future. I wish my teammates the best of luck this season and hope for the continued success of the program." Cut and dry. So everybody saw that and made it to mean NIL, which, as the day has gone on, UNLV obviously leaked information. And then Sluka's representatives have now come back and continued to release even more information. And essentially, what we have been able to gather is that Matthew Sluka, when he was being recruited, so he started his career at Holy Cross in the FCS. He was there for 4 years. He goes into the portal. He's recruited by UNLV. An assistant coach apparently offered Sluka $100,000 in an NIL deal to go to UNLV. Barry Odom, so Sluka commits, goes. Barry Odom, the head coach, later said that offer wasn't valid because it didn't come from him. So Sluka's already there. UNLV's 4-0. He's gotten $3,000 in NIL from the collective, but that's it. Brennan Marion, the OC, is the one who allegedly made the $100,000 offer. So here you have this quarterback, was promised $100K, shows up on campus, doesn't get it. So now 4 games into the season, deuces, I'm out. Okay. I know, and by the way, apparently, he ain't the only one. Just before we were coming on air, Michael Allen, who is the running back at UNLV, tweeted, "After 3 games, I've decided to utilize my red shirt and enter the portal at the end of the season as a redshirt junior. I'm grateful to UNLV and wish them nothing but success. Expectations for opportunities, unfortunately, were not met, and I'm excited to continue my football career." So now your starting quarterback and your running back have both said, "Deuces, I'm out," 4 games into the season because of unmet expectations. Now, y'all know, you already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. In the event that there's like an alien that came from outer space, landed in Louisiana today, jumped in somebody's car, Schwarzenegger style, whenever he stole that dude's bike in T2 and just turned on the knob to 104.5 or 104.9 FM in Baton Rouge, or maybe 100.3 in New Orleans, 94.7 Alec, 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, wherever you may be. And I have love for all of you. But that alien who just dropped down and has no idea my feelings on something like this, let me make it abundantly clear. I am 100% okay with Matthew Sluka getting the hell out of Dodge. 100% okay with it. Let's be very clear. Very clear. I know how you feel about it. I know how you feel about it. Because I am the outlier. I am the weirdo. I am the one with a third arm growing out of my forehead, okay? I'm the one who, if all y'all are way over here with NIL, you hate it, you hate what it's doing to college sports, the players are greedy, you're way over here, I'm in bunkie. You know what I mean? I'm that far away from you on this. I don't know how we ever got to a point where adult humans like you and me hold the kids, the young people, the college students to a higher standard than we hold the adults. Why is it acceptable for any coach who's under contract, signed a contract, recruited these student athletes, the premise of what we're going to do, build a program, a culture, all that stuff. You get them committed, you get them signed, you get them on campus. Coach can say, I'm out, got a better offer. We'll sling millions for buyouts, no big deal, gone. Why is that acceptable? But a young player with a very short shelf life to maximize profitability and value, it's not okay for them to leave. Intellectually, that makes no sense. And you know that makes no sense. What I just said, you understand. That makes no sense whatsoever. Matthew Sluka will never play professional football. I don't even know the kid, and that's the answer. He'll never have an opportunity to play. So this is it. The only time in his life he'll ever be able to make money off his name, image, likeness, earning potential, whatever, it's right now. This is it. And he's got 1 year left. So now you have a guy who thought he was going to make six figures. They're going to pay him 3 G's, not fulfill the promise they made. And so he says, then fine, I'm going to redshirt, and I'm going to go play somewhere else next year where they will allow me to make the money that I think I'm worth. Good on you, kid. Go make it. Go make it. Because when that year of football is over, you're done forever. You're never making money on football again. You're going to go be a banker, an accountant, whatever it is that you're going to be. And I wish him all the luck in the world on it. I cannot fathom why we hold the adults who created this mess. Everything you hate about this right now, the NIL culture, transfer portal, everything that you all hate about it, the adults created the problem. They're the ones who for decades realized, you know, we can increase ticket prices. You know, we could add a seat license. We can call it a tradition fund. Oh, you know what we can do? How about if we all come together collectively and let the league negotiate TV rights, and we could do big business, billion-dollar TV deals. The adults in the room did this. They're the ones who grew college football into a massive business. Okay. But don't crap on the free labor for saying, hey, I'd like a share. And if you try to come at me with some scholarship BS, take that down the road. In a different day and age when college football wasn't generating billions in revenue, fine. When mom and dad and Aunt Gertrude were the only ones sitting in the stand cheering on little Bobby, okay. You can get into the game for $6.99, fine. Now, kick rocks. You must be out your damn mind. You think that's going to fly. Y'all know it's true. And I'll say this again. I'm going to say it every time I get the opportunity. If I asked you, sat down and fundamentally asked you if you're against that kid leaving, why? You know what you're going to give me? Well, college football and sport and unity and team, a bunch of intangible crap. Crap. You just want your team to win, and you're afraid it's your player who might leave next. That's the only. You don't care about the kid. All you care about is your team winning and what it would do to affect your team if one of your star players left 4 games in. That's all you care about, and you know it. Don't even try to fight a single aspect or argument. That is all anybody cares about. What if Garrett Nussmeier left after 4 games? Can't let that happen. Only transfer once. No transfers. NIL bad. That's all everybody thinks of. Instead of trying to fix the problem. If there is a problem. Say it again. The only people who are inconvenienced by NIL transfer portal are coaches making millions of dollars a year. And I am not in any way, not one single ounce or fiber of my being, am I sympathetic to any one of those coaches. You make $3, $5, $7, $10, $12 million a year. And you think I am supposed to care that you now have to work harder to maintain your roster and build culture? Sorry. Don't be a coach. Go wash cars. But I sure as hell am not going to be upset at that guy who's 21 years old, who has one opportunity in his life to make money, where his value is high, and he's going to go do it. Good on you, kid. I hope you get your bag. I hope you get your bag, and I hope the loser coach who promised you the money and couldn't follow through, I hope he gets fired. I actually don't wish that upon anybody. But I hope he learns a very important lesson here, not to do that crap no more. But if you're pointing the finger at the kid for leaving, your placement of blame is in the wrong spot. Blame the people responsible for this getting to the point where it is. Don't blame the young people who are trying to take advantage of their only earning opportunity for so many of them. Because I'd be doing the same damn thing, and you know you would too. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty, buying or selling commercial or residential. Think real estate, think Darren James. Give him a buzz, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Hey, y'all, interest rates have come down. It means inventory starting to come back onto the market because buyers are coming back into the market as well. Don't miss the opportunity. If you're someone who's trying to time the market, don't. Now is the time right now to call Darren James. Remember, the busiest month in real estate every year in our market is actually November. You think it's the spring. It's not. It's November because it's people wanting to move before the holidays and get settled, move before the first of the year. So if you're thinking about moving and you want to be in your new spot for Christmas, you need to call Darren James today. Give him a call or go to agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Congrats to Jayden Daniels. What an incredible performance on Monday Night Football, as we all saw. And for his efforts, Jayden Daniels has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, obviously the first such honor in his career. Set a rookie record with his 91.3 completion percentage on Monday Night Football against the Bengals, the highest completion percentage for a rookie in NFL history. Golly, through three games, Jayden Daniels has still not thrown an interception. This is ridiculous. He just continues to be an absolute assassin, man. It's so funny, too, because the big singular knock on Jayden coming out of Arizona State was his accuracy. I remember we had his mom, Regina, on the show after he had committed, and she said, I want to go pull that up, Muse. It's somewhere in our shared folder. But she told us, I'm paraphrasing it, but she told us, like, okay, look, if that's what we have to work on, that's what we work on. Like, they acknowledged it, and he went and worked. Was he working with Carson Palmer out in California, something like that, the year before he came to LSU? It was something like that. Anyway, and that's what they worked on, was accuracy. My goodness, did it pay off. Anyway, congrats to Jayden Daniels, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Taylor Calandro will be here for a little Bourbon Dictionary in just a smidge. Right now, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia receiver London Humphreys will miss the game this week against Alabama, dealing with mono. 3 games this season, Humphreys has just a couple of catches, but one of them was a 40-yard touchdown in his debut in the opener against Clemson.
The Auburn Tigers.
Wide receiver Cam Coleman has been injured, been playing through an injury. Hugh Freeze disclosed he's been playing through a shoulder injury through the first 4 weeks of the season, Freeze said on Wednesday, Coleman in a non-contact jersey, but they're hoping that'll be better by Saturday and ready to go against Oklahoma.
Texas A&M!
And Mike Elko, has updated 3 key injuries for the Aggies. Shamar Stewart, a defensive back, Bryce Anderson, and offensive lineman TJ Shanahan. Stewart will be available after suffering an injury against Bowling Green. Bryce Anderson is questionable, and Shanahan is going to be out this week against Arkansas. He's a freshman that's played in all 4 games there along the offensive line, including as a backup at center. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by Evamore. Drink Evamore, y'all. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. Always got mine. Carry the big 64-ounce bottles. I buy the 4-pack. Always encourage you to buy whichever you want. If it's the 20-ounce bottles, the 32, the 64, I would recommend go buy the 4-pack of 64. Take one with you. Drink it throughout the day. It's a great start, a great habit to start to create to make sure that you remain hydrated, a better source of hydration. It's natural artesian water. If you're watching, there's Dak. They did a deal with Dak Prescott. Look, if it's good enough for the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Cloth and Nuss, the Olympic volleyball stars from LSU, they're Evamore athletes as well. Drink Evamore. It's a better source of hydration. It's a healthier option for your family, for your children. EVAMOR, Evamore.com, available at great local retailers or online at Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Go read the reviews and try it for yourself. It's a better form of hydration. It's Evamore. Okay, y'all. It's After Further Review. By the way, here was Brian Kelly on the teleconference today. SC Coach's teleconference on Wednesday. BK was asked about the Jayden versus Joe Monday night game and what that impact is for his program.
Certainly when you have 2 Heisman Trophy winners that are currently in the NFL, which is unprecedented, going off against each other and, playing at such a high level, it speaks to, what can happen in the development at the quarterback position at LSU. Then you add Jamar Chase, and then obviously all the other players. Malik Neighbors had a great day. There's so many, great things happening in terms of the development of the players that can come in and compete right away. I think it just speaks to the player development piece here at LSU relative to coming in, playing for championships, but also preparing yourself for the NFL. And it does obviously help us a great deal, and that resonates in recruiting.
Bryce Underwood already committed for the class of 2025. We'll see about quarterback in 26. And then, of course, Elijah Haven, the number 1 player in the country for 2027, is right here in Baton Rouge at the Dunham School. You could just be scratching the surface. I mean, it's hard to even fathom that you're just scratching the surface. But Burrow, Daniels, Nussmeier, who's been awesome, with Bryce Underwood, and that's not even counting Ricky Collins, Colin Hurley, who are in the queue as well. Bryce Underwood, potentially Elijah Haven. My goodness. We have overcorrected from the most heinous decade of quarterback play you could imagine to this absolute glut of efficiency, proficiency, and just incredible play. Fun to watch, though. We've earned it. For all of us who watched toss dive to the short side over and over again. Yeah, it's fun to watch. Okay, it's after further review. Get your booze questions in. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro's next.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. If your AC isn't keeping up, if you're having any issues whatsoever, call our friends at River City's 1 hour air. I can guarantee you this. They're going to get you back up and running, and you're going to get an exceptional customer service experience. Robert Wolf sent this 5-star Google review. Brandon was probably the most knowledgeable and thorough AC guy I have ever met. He knew everything about the system I was interested in, explained it great, very professional. Another 5-star Google review. They're so committed to continuing education for all of their technicians. It's part of the reason, plus all the great benefits, why their technicians stay, and you get exceptional service every time. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is all.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
I thought it was Taylor Calandro. What up, dude?
Fix that. Hey, what's happening?
Another day. Taylor Calandro is here to answer all of your booze questions, so get them in. You can email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, or you can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. What's new, man?
So we got a little. Well, I have a few new things. We got to drop a Crown Blackberry tonight. So
that's the stampede.
Yeah, get over
that's
there.
the stampede over to the store.
Yeah. As sad as that is, there will be one. But I don't know if I talked about it last week. We got because I don't want to talk about Crown Blackberry, but we have it. We got.
Hey man, let them people drink what they want to drink, though.
Absolutely, that's what I'm in the business of. Bardstown Silver Oak finish.
Okay.
Did I talk about that last week?
No, we didn't.
So it's one of their collaborative series. Bardstown, which is in Bardstown, they did a collaboration with Silver Oak, and if people aren't familiar with Silver Oak's famous Napa Cab, the interesting thing about this, the whiskey I was reading about, it's 9 to 14 years old. I haven't tried it, but the reviews say it's very winey. They refrigerated the Silver Oak barrels after they drained the wine, and instead of washing them, and refrigerated them from Napa or from California to Kentucky, and saved the wine instead of it souring, and so it's got a lot of wine characteristic in it.
Okay.
Which is totally different than anything I've heard of anybody doing. I've heard there's always wine finished stuff.
Yes.
They usually rinse them and so they don't sour. But anyway,
I will tell you, one of the worst whiskeys I've ever had in my life is a wine finished barrel whiskey, and I always sort of just look the other way when I see them now.
So I've had some bad ones, and I've had some really good ones. They're kind of there's, in my opinion, a way to do them correctly and not go super overbearing with it. And what I've read about this one, it's not super overbearing in like a bad way.
Okay.
So I don't know. I want to try it. It's kind of pricey. It's $170, but I want to try it.
I'm sorry, did you say 170? 170?
170. Yeah,
I will not be buying that.
Right.
I will.
So, but it's interesting, especially for wine people. So
yes, that is true.
Yep.
I will not be trying that. Unless if someone wants to buy a bottle, let me bum a shot off of you. I'd love to sip it and try it. I will not be buying it.
And one more thing, we got a little drop of Port Lazy tequila today, and that's something everybody's been looking for. So
all right,
Port Lazy.
Get your questions in for Taylor. Email us, tweet us, or text us. You can ask him any type of booze question you got, so fire away. Here's one from Scott. He said, hey, Penelope Toasted Straight Rye is amazing. What's another comparable great straight rye favorite?
Why don't you try to find the new Elijah Craig Toasted Rye? I tried it. It is absolutely fantastic. It's allocated. It's hard to find. I have a feeling it might be sort of easier after a while, but try to find that.
My buddy Butch from over at formerly of Clegg's. He's now retired. Shout out to Butch. He just asked, hey, any new beers over there?
A lot of new, like Oktoberfest style, pumpkin, seasonals, like a ton of them. A few new locals I'm trying to think of. Strawberry Shortcake from Gnarly Barley. It's an IPA. Just a lot of Oktoberfest. Tons of, and a lot of local Oktoberfest beers, too.
What's your
Pretty much every brewery in the state has some type of pumpkin or Oktoberfest beer.
What's your favorite Oktoberfest, local or otherwise? Which ones do you think are really good?
I like the old style German ones, or just old world beer in general. They're very simple. They're crisp. So like Warsteiner or like Weisstefeiner, just any of the old German ones.
Are you getting any allocated whiskeys in yet?
Yes. I mean, they're definitely starting to come. I'm trying to think of anything specifically. I mean, Crown Blackberry came today, which that's one of the most allocated things we have right now.
Well, I'll tell you what's so interesting. So, like, no, it's fine. People will send me all the time on the text lines. They know we do this segment. They'll send me pictures when they're out hunting and they get a bottle. Like, there's one guy who's his name's Ryan, who pretty religiously listens and texts. He sent me a picture of 4 bottles of Weller 12 that he got last week. I'm like, how in the world?
So there was a little drop of Weller 12 last week, a tiny one, and we got a few, and they went out quickly. But yeah, there was a little. I mean, stuff like that happens a lot, and unfortunately for a lot of people, stuff like that happens in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Maybe people get mad at me, but look, I mean, I like to go home in the afternoons as well.
Maybe
so I don't want to stay and wait for everybody to get off work. It's just one of those things.
You can holler at your boy. Saying
I could do that. I have a lot of boys that need hollering all the time.
Well, I don't like any of your other boys. None of them matter. I'm the one that matters, damn it. I'm being selfish here. Clayton Knight asked Taylor, did you get any of the Maker's Heart release back in? What's the Maker's Heart release?
I've talked about it a few times on here. It's part of their wood finishing series. It's actually the first of this series that they're doing, but it's a wood finished. And we have had it several times over the past month. I don't have any right now. I don't know if any more is coming, but we have been getting some. So and Baton Rouge in general has been getting some. So keep your eyes peeled. And I tried it last week. It's spectacular.
Like literally 10 seconds. Brett, do you have any of the Respect Your Body beer? I guess that's our guy.
I don't. Devin Shout out Devin.
Shout out Devin Snow. Get some Respect Your Body beer.
Respect Your Body. Hold the mayo.
Hold the mayo. Respect Your Body. All right. Thank you, dude. We appreciate it.
See ya.
All right. That's Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. This is After Further Review. Hump Day shows, are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. The LSU freshmen speak out. That's next. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well. Y'all check out our friends over at Relief Windows. They're the best. Listen, I tell you all the time, if you're just shopping price, don't call Relief Windows. They're not going to be the cheapest. I'll just tell you that up front. If you're just going to get quotes so you can find who's going to do the job the cheapest, that's not going to be them. But if you want a beautiful product, a premium product, wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty, that almost sounds like a punchline, but at Relief Windows, it's true. You live in a neighborhood where the HOA requires wood windows. Instead of replacing them every 4, 5, 6 years, do it once and you're done forever with Relief Windows. Maybe you want those indoor shutters to beautify your home. Relief Windows can help with that as well. They measure twice. They install once. Every window custom made to fit the exact specifications of your home, and you never, ever, ever, ever pay anything until they're done and you're thrilled. It's Relief Windows. Check them out, reliefwindows.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. UNLV starting quarterback Matthew Sluka leaving the program and will redshirt this year. His agent told ESPN UNLV did not come through on a verbal offer of $100,000 from an assistant coach. The undefeated Rebels, 23rd in the coaches poll, first time the program's been ranked in a major poll. Former NFL and Colorado QB Cordell Stewart.
For whatever reason, the Kool-Aid, that he's drinking, he's thinking that he probably can go somewhere else and get more money, and win some more games. I think he should have just stayed where he was, continue to play, put up some great numbers.
Cordell Stewart on Unsportsmanlike. UNLV said Sluka's agent made financial demands in order to continue playing. They interpreted the demands as a violation of NCAA pay-for-play rules and Nevada state law, and the school does not engage in such activity. Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez left elbow flexor strain on the 15-day IL. Marcus Stroman starts in his place tonight against Baltimore. Yankees clinch the AL East with a win. Met shortstop Francisco Lindor returns from a back issue to the starting lineup tonight against the Braves, 6:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Oh!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Newso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Mark Zinno here in about 15 minutes. Zinno does an awesome job, radio in Atlanta. You also hear nationally on ESPN Radio. We'll get a little opposing view of the Atlanta Falcons as the Saints hit the road to the ATL this weekend. Both teams suffering really tough losses on Sunday. The Falcons had the Chiefs on the ropes, couldn't finish it on Sunday Night Football. The Saints, of course, we saw what happened in the Dome against the Eagles, both trying to get right. We'll see how it can go. We'll get a closer look at the Dirty Birds here in about 15 minutes from right now. Speaking of which, first injury report is out for the week, and we got a little clarification on the Saints. We learned Kamara was not at practice today. Neither was Alontae Taylor here for the first practice of the week, getting ready, and the first injury report out. So Alvin Kamara, we learned, absent with rib and hip injuries. You can read about it right now at LouisianaSports.net. The injury report's all up there, filed from Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net. So the absences today, Alontae Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Cesar Ruiz, Demario Davis, Eric McCoy, who we know is headed to IR. Those that were limited, Colin Saunders, DeMarco Jackson, Landon Young. That's one worth watching as well with Landon Young because he's probably a guy you'd like to have activated as a swing tackle this weekend, especially down McCoy. And then players that were limited as listed as full participants, but on the report, Derek Carr with a left groin injury, which is concerning. And then Taysom Hill with the chest injury was a full participant, however. So it looks like he's definitely trending toward playing this week. That's great to see. We'll get you more up to date on that as we move throughout the show today. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this Hump Day Show brought to you by Pluckers Trivia. Tonight, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Tuesday was a kind of a rare day out at LSU because on Tuesday is when there's player availability with the media, but they made 4 true freshmen available. And that just very seldom happens. Forgive me, 3 true freshmen and a redshirt. Kyle Parker's the redshirt freshman. But Deshaun Spears, Ahmad Bro, Trey'Dez Green, 3 true freshmen that have played in every game so far this year. And, you know, when Brian Kelly met with reporters on Monday, he kind of referenced this point in the game where Deshaun Spears, Dominic McKinley, Gabe Relaford, P.J. Woodland, you had 4 true freshmen in the game at once. And it's just evidence of the direction this team is going. Like they are getting younger. They're turning to their young talent and saying, we're just going to understand there's going to be growing pains, but you're the most talented guys we got, so we're going to let you go figure it out. And so it was interesting to hear those guys talk, in particular Spears and Bro on the defensive side of the ball. And I thought one of the things that really struck me was how each of these guys, even the offensive guys with Parker and Trey'Dez, they talked about the assistant coaches that they're working with. Like, for example, here was Ahmad Bro talking about working with Bo Davis.
No, it's a funny experience, but that's my dog, man. I love Coach Bo, man. You know, you could tell him anything. You know, he really cares. He really cares for who he coaches. He doesn't just see you as a number. He sees you as, I could compare it to like one of his sons. He sees us as that, and he wants to coach us the hardest as long as we want to get coached too.
I'm going to come back to more Bro here in a second, but Ahmad Bro was coached in high school up at Ruston by Kyle Williams, former LSU All-American, longtime NFL defensive tackle Kyle Williams, who said, man, I'm used to Coach Bo because I played for Kyle Williams, who would always yell at me too. I mean, you cannot go out to an LSU practice and miss Bo Davis or Brad Davis. I mean, they are loud, they are vocal, it is unmistakable, but it's also so abundantly clear how much better these interior players are playing right now because they're being coached better, with better technique, better leverage, all of it. And the upside is tremendous with these young guys. And you're starting to see it, even without Jacoby and Guillory, a position that we all knew. And Brian Kelly even said it after the spring game. The biggest question was that interior defensive line. That's why they went so hard in the portal after it. But you're starting to see some of these young guys grow up, which was good to see. It was interesting with Deshaun Spears. Of course, Jacoby Stevens isn't the safeties coach, but he is working on staff. Former 5-star LSU safety, played that hybrid role as well. And Deshaun Spears kind of lauded the work and the relationship that he has with Jacoby Stevens.
It would be Jacoby Stevens. Yeah, he's really helped me throughout since I got here. It's probably the third day I got here, we was doing drills and stuff. You know, he really seen the potential that I had, so he really showed me the ropes.
I mean, Jacoby was a guy that showed up as a 5-star as well out of Tennessee. And you know, he was forced into action early, and we saw Jacoby throughout his career play a lot of different spots. Free safety, strong safety, kind of that hybrid role closer to the line in Dave Aranda's defense. So you could see a lot of that in Deshaun Spears. But like Brian Kelly said on Monday, the safeties right now, they are going bare bones on safeties. I mean, they are just saying, we want 3 things. Who can play with leverage on the football, who can tackle, and who can communicate. Like, that's it. You do those 3 things, and then maybe we'll move you into the box. And then we'll get a little creative with blitzes. But right now, it is too high safety. It is, hey, just don't let anybody get behind you. I mean, that's basically the role of the safeties right now. But it's evident across the entire field. And maybe there's part of this, the skeptic would say, Well, what do you expect a player to say? He gets in a press conference, he's asked about his coach. Is he really going to say anything bad? I mean, maybe not. But most of us still had that image lingering in our brain of Matt House after the bowl game last year. You know, when he tried to go dap up the defensive lineman, and even a guy like Mekhi Wingo, who is a veteran player, wore the 18 jersey, it's obvious. They're dismissive of the guy. And how different the tone is now with these guys. Even on the offensive side, like Kyle Parker, who's a redshirt freshman, he talked about Cortez Hankton working with the receivers.
He's a real personable coach, I would say. Coach Hankton is a great guy. He's not a big rah-rah guy, but he'll give it to you straightforward, let you know what you need to know or whatever you need to fix. And he emphasizes that a lot. I mean, he's always going to be hard on us because he expects us to be at such a high standard. So him being hard on everybody like that, I mean, he's a great coach. I mean, he's just always going to make sure we're doing the right thing in the right position. He's going to put us there to make plays. So
Kyle Parker looks like, he's kind of emerging as one of the next great ones in that group. Young guy, but could get there. I said I wanted to go back to Ahmad Bro because I think that's maybe the most interesting because Ahmad Bro, he's light. He's 270 pounds. I think he said he's actually 280, but he showed up light. He was a defensive end and showed up here to play defensive end. And when they realized they were going to be light on numbers and experience at defensive tackle, they moved him inside. Here was Ahmad Bro switching to tackle from end.
Coach Kelly had that plan, before spring ball started, and it wasn't really ideal for my development to gain all that weight in that short amount of time. So we waited till after the spring, and I was more than happy to do it. Getting coached by Bo Davis, playing in a spot where I'm more fitted, and I mess with it a lot.
So he was very open to it, but again, Ahmad Bro went from 245 pounds, 240, 245 when he showed up on campus playing defensive end in the spring, to having to gain 40 pounds. He kind of he talked about how he gained 40 pounds after the spring.
They just gave me like a map, how much protein I'm supposed to eat and all that. And honestly, I didn't go up that much in body fat. And I just ate a lot of Whataburger. I ain't gonna lie to you. And what they had in PNC, the PNC, the chefs, they're great. They recommend whatever you need to eat. And they cook good stuff, honestly. And I was eating on that. I did it the right way.
PNC, that's the nutrition center. But he said he ate a lot of Whataburger. Listen to this. You're talking about a personable young guy. This was Ahmad Bro's order at Whataburger.
What's your Whataburger order? You're a Whataburger guy? Whataburger order. So I order a sweet spicy bacon burger with jalapenos on it, 3 large fries, and a large Powerade. Yeah, gas.
Did he say 3 large fries?
Yeah, he said three large fries.
Who needs that?
A guy, you moving from defensive end to defensive tackle and trying to gain 40 pounds.
I want to tell you, that is not the way to do it. Just as it. So I don't mean to tell stories like when because this isn't a Glory Days thing. It's just an illustration. So I played offensive line in high school. I'm a small guy relative to a lineman, right? But they wanted me to play at 230. Right, and when you're wearing 30 pounds of pads and you have 2 days, like you lose a ton of weight. So I would go to McDonald's and I would order a 20-piece McNugget.
So good, dude.
And I would get the double quarter pounder with cheese meal, supersized, right? Because I don't even know if you can still supersize.
I don't think you can.
I don't think that's a thing anymore. But hey kids, they used to say, hey look, supersize it to get fatter, get more Coke, get more sugar, and more fries. Anyway. I don't think they do that anymore.
I think it only goes to large now.
Yeah, anyway. So that I would eat that all the time. And I'm here to tell you, that is a terrible way to try to gain weight. That is not healthy. Do not do that. Don't play his Whataburger order again.
What's your Whataburger order? You're a Whataburger guy? My Whataburger order. So I order a sweet spicy bacon burger with jalapenos on it, 3 large fries, and a large Powerade. Yeah, gas.
I pity his roommates. And by the way, this is also not an endorsement for Whataburger or anybody. It's not an endorsement. Personally, I actually don't like Whataburger. Had a bad experience with Whataburger when we lived in Houston. When Drew was born, there was a Whataburger by the hospital. Had it one time. Didn't go well, if you know what I mean. And so just haven't been back. I'm sure it's fine. Again, it was one bad. Everybody can go anywhere and have bad. That's no commentary on Whataburger or McDonald's or anybody. I ain't trying to call nobody out. You do you. Just don't really do fast food. I'm just telling you, I'm glad Ahmad Bro was able to do it without just like hammering down on Whataburger. You gain that weight the right way.
Yeah.
And a buttload of Powerade probably isn't the best thing either to do. You know what I mean?
Large Powerade there.
Drink Evermore, Ahmad Bro. But I love seeing Ahmad Bro make this transition inside because Don McKinley, you know the ceiling he's got. Ahmad Bro, they're very high on. And then look at what's coming. I mean, they've got 4 defensive tackles already committed for 2025. It's a youth movement. It's what they're doing. I'll keep giving you this example, but it's what they did 2 years ago at offensive tackle with Jones and Campbell. They just made the commitment to say, you know what? Those are our best 2 guys, highest ceiling. We're rolling with them. And I think they are there with a lot of these defensive guys as well. And so I think this defense in October is going to be better than in September. November, they're going to be better than October. It's just they're going to keep improving the more experience these guys get. They can keep adding on. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Quick break. Go to Atlanta. Mark Zinno joins us next. It's AFR.
After further review.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Told you yesterday about the Watermark and the Gregory and how amazing that is in downtown. Well, if you're in Southtown, that area right there on Bluebonnet, across the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Road, that's where you'll find the Renaissance Hotel. That's where you'll also find Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. You know, Tallulah is a casual upscale dining experience. Chef-inspired menu there from Chef Jason Hebert, who's from Baton Rouge, went to Redemptorist, then has worked from Maine to L.A. and points in between. I think actually San Francisco. Maine, San Francisco, and points in between as he started his chef career. And he's built this incredible menu over at Tallulah. And then the ambiance at Tallulah is great. Indoor, outdoor flow. They got the awesome fire pit if you want to have a glass of wine, a cocktail, as you sort of people watch a little bit and enjoy the evening as the weather gets nicer. You could do it at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Excited about the opportunity to go there and play those guys. They got a good football team. They're playing exceptionally well. They could easily be 3-0 with the way that they played. They've played some really good teams, so it's going to be a tough challenge. I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere to go play a game in, and we're excited about the opportunity.
All right, Dennis Allen getting the Saints ready to head over to the ATL. A couple teams that lost last week. Need of a win, a division win as well. Let's find out more about the Dirty Birds. Mark Zinno joins us. Of course, you hear him nationally on ESPN Radio. 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. All around great dude. We appreciate the time whenever we can get it. Zinno, what's up, man?
What's going on? Hey, I know you're supposed to ask the questions here, but I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is Clint Kubiak going to save Dennis Allen's job for another year?
Well,
you're going to have to deal with Dennis Allen for another year. I'd be pissed at that if I was a Saints fan.
So
I'd be literally upset.
So, Zinno, here's like a legit conversation that happened after the first 2 weeks here. Like this will illustrate the psyche of the Saints fan. We all watched that offense the first 2 weeks and went, what if Kubiak gets a head coaching job, leaves, the offense goes back to crap, and we're stuck with Dennis Allen? Like that was the conversation after 2 weeks. Like people were legit asking, could they promote Kubiak to head coach and demote Dennis Allen to defensive coordinator? I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. But those are legit conversations people are having, like fans are having here about this team.
But I get the stupidity of that thought process, and part of it makes me chuckle. But nonetheless, that would be the first time in the history of coaching where you would do that sort of promotion-demotion deal.
Yeah, I mean, we all know, obviously, it'll never happen. But it is a weird it is this weird juxtaposition right now of what the Saints were, what they are, and what they could potentially be. But they really need a win this week, man. Let me actually start on with a similar issue the Saints have that the Falcons have as well. Drew Dahlman, the starting center, went to IR. Walk me through how big of a deal that is for the Falcons.
It's notable. It's not a death knell for this offensive line. They have a lot of depth at that position. So I'm not too concerned about it from the standpoint of the scheme should still be what it is. There's still going to be a very good, power running team with Bijan and Tyler Algier. And I think that more than anything, what it comes down to is really, how quickly can he pick up all the blocking assignments and the calls and at the line and things of that nature, the protection calls. But I don't have too much concern about it. Not only that, Caleb McGarry was also doing practice today, their right tackle, but he's got turnstile tendencies, which sounds like a great album for a rock band, but it's not a good moniker for an offensive lineman. So nonetheless, there are some questions on the offensive line, but I got to tell you, look, I mean, I actually feel really good about the Falcons after 3 weeks. A lot of people don't. I do. Look, you went into this knowing that 0-3 was a realistic possibility and that 1-2 is the most likely scenario. And I told everybody before the season started, if you're only going to win one game in the first three, win the NFC game against the Eagles, because that will matter down the road for a tiebreaker. Everything broke the way it was supposed to. Or Dennis Allen said they should be 3-0. No, I mean, look, it all comes out in the wash, right? Because Nick Sirianni is an idiot and gifted the Falcons a win. The officials gifted one back to Kansas City last week, so it all comes out in the wash. But I think 1-2 is fine where they are. Their real season starts now. They got 3 division games in the next 4 weeks, and this will really decide positioning for the middle part of October into November.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Falcons are a breath away from being 2-1, but they're also a blink away from being 0-3 right now. I mean, if Saquon catches the ball, I mean, it's the NFL. You're right. Those things tend to even out as the season goes along. Give me a perspective on Cousins through 3 weeks, especially since, man, the debut against the Steelers, 10 points, it looks so clunky. Just give me a thought through 3 weeks on Cousins.
It did look clunky. And I don't know why, whether it was scheme or not, but like Zach Robinson, the OC, the guy who came from the Rams, the guy who's been running the Shanahan system, the McVay system, the one system that everybody's in love with nowadays, because you can't play football unless you play with Kyle Shanahan. So beyond that, but he had him in shotgun way too much. like 80% of the run plays were all coming out of shotgun in that week. And I don't know if that was by design because it was against the Steelers. Some people speculated it was because of Kirk's, heel, Achilles, whatever it is. Guys, Kirk's heel is fine. Like, he's able to drop back on it. He's able to push off on it. He's able to throw, which drives me insane that they didn't call a quarterback sneak against the Chiefs on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 because it's just derelict coaching. And I shot at Raheem Morris for that all on Monday press conference. But I digress. I think once they got away from that and got into more of the play action system that they're used to, the motion system that they're used to, you started to see the offense perform a little bit better. The interception last week wasn't Kirk's fault by any stretch of the imagination. He's played well. You're just not seeing the eye-popping numbers that you saw in Minnesota. And some of that is because, again, you got really dynamic running backs and you got a good run game here. And putting the hands and the ball of Bijan Robinson in the run game is probably more critical to offensive success than throwing the ball down the field a lot. But you saw what they're capable of, the deep strike to Kyle Pitts, the ability to get the ball to Drake London. I mean, all this stuff is here. And you got to remember, the version of the offense you are in week 3, you got to be a different version of that offense in week 10, week 14, right? I mean, yeah. I say everybody keeps, just as an aside, everybody keeps asking about the Jets. Like, guys, the Jets are going to get better offensively. Like, slow your roll. It's 3 weeks. You're not winning the Super Bowl. We're making the playoff 3 weeks in. So just pump the brakes a little bit on what you are. Survive and stack a couple of wins if you can, and be ready to start playing football when you're a better version of yourself in October and November.
He's on Twitter at Mark Zinno. Y'all give him a follow. So much of Atlanta has been, they have stacked draft resources and capital on the offensive side. Like you mentioned Pitts and London and Bijan. Like, we all know that. It feels like the question has consistently been defensively. Look, Raheem Morris comes in. We know he's a defensive guy. Like, what do they look like through 3 weeks?
They don't look terrible. On the back end, they're really good. Their safeties are really good. Obviously, Jesse Bates is an all-pro. Justin Simmons is there. He got the pick last week against Mahomes. I think that they're okay. They're still not winning at pass rush rate. Like, that's a problem. It's one thing. Everybody in Atlanta is focused on sacks because, Atlanta stinks at sacking the quarterback. It's just been the way they've been for the last, decade. So, everybody gets hung up on that number, but the pass rush win rate is not there for this team up front. And it needs to start to get better because, as you can start to see, if you give any average quarterback time, even as bad as Justin Fields was or, anybody else, that you're going to have some problems. So for Derek Carr, if they're not putting pressure on him this week, and Carr's got the ability, especially what we saw from the big playability and the deep strike ability the first 2 weeks, the Saints resurrect that against the Falcons in the pass game, and no one is getting to Derek Carr, guess what? It could be a long day for the Falcons defense.
It's interesting, Zinno, the pressure against Carr didn't come from the edge, though. It came from right at the chute. After Eric McCoy went out, the interior pressure is what really busted the Saints' offense. What do you think about the Falcons' ability to push the pocket on the inside?
Well, that guy Grady Jarrett's pretty good last time I checked. So, really, if he's the guy who's creating havoc, and Grady his entire career has been great at that. He's not, obviously, he's a defensive tackle. He's not going to be racking up sacks. But he's always great at disrupting things, and he should draw a double team. He should draw a lot of focus. And in theory, that should open up stuff for David Onyemata and other guys on the line, and maybe some of the edge rushers to get through. Is you have to roll protection to pick up Grady. But if you let Grady one-on-one, he's going to beat most guys in this league. He's still a top 5 D tackle in this league, despite the injury and everything he's coming off of. But he's only going to get better week in and week out. And look, this is a team that he knows, right? He's played against the Saints plenty, so I would look at him as priority number 1 if I was the Saints offensive line coach, that don't let 97 beat you. Because if he does, it's going to be a long day for the Saints.
Mark Zinno's with us. A couple more minutes. 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. You hear him nationally on ESPN Radio. We're taking a close look here at the Falcons. Give me a matchup to watch, Zinno, on Sunday. Something you think might tilt the field one way or another for the Saints or the Falcons.
Look, Kyle Pitts is probably the most enigmatic figure in Atlanta in a while, right? Like, what an awful draft pick that was at 4 overall. He's not an awful player. It's an awful draft pick because you don't take tight ends at 4. It's just stupid. And the Falcons are reminding everybody that they were stupid for doing it. Doesn't make Pitts a bad player. However, you're starting to see them scheme him open a little bit more in certain spots. And as you start to key on Bijan, and as you start to key on Drake, even Darnell Mooney, had a big game last week in various different ways in the pass game. You've got to figure out a way that Pitts has to be covered. And most guys in the secondary can't cover him straight up. Yes, it's a telltale when he's on the to run block. You want to know why? Because that, quote, unicorn stinks at run blocking. So, he's just not a blocker. So he's there to catch a ball. It's just a question of can they scheme him open. They hit him on a 50-yard strike last week, and that's a good Chiefs pass defense. So there'll be a play that is schemed up for Kyle Pitts. And as he gets more comfortable, Kirk Cousins' use of the tight ends, what he did with T.J. Hockenson in Minnesota, was well documented. It's going to start to get greater and greater each week. I think they're going to start to push him more a little each week. And if he's the guy that the Saints choose to put single coverage on, more often than not, Pitts is going to be a tough guy to cover.
Mark Zinno, hey, before you go, Zinno also does a lot of betting analysis, betting content as well. Give me a play that you like on this game. Side, total, prop, anything like that?
I mean, look, I usually come on this station, and I know your loyal audience loves to watch me take a dump on the Falcons, but I'm taking the Falcons this week. Like I am. I think they're winning the game. I hate to tell you, look, I do believe your offensive start was a little fugazi. I think you played the Panthers, who are a mess, and I think the Cowboys is more of an indictment of how bad they are or how lost their defense is without Dan Quinn and the scheme and everything else. So I think the Falcons get a big win here. I genuinely do. At a field goal game. Now, I think the Saints are a great teaser option if you could find somebody to pair them with, like maybe Philadelphia, who's getting 2 points, Tampa Bay, who's getting 2 points, rather. I think the Saints are a great teaser option because the Falcons aren't going to beat the Saints by margin. But then winning this game by a field goal or 2 points, yeah, absolutely. I think they can do that. I mean, I genuinely like the Falcons this week in this matchup against the Saints to win the game.
He's Mark Zinno, 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. You hear him on ESPN Radio National as well. You hear his voice on these airwaves from time to time. Mark, we appreciate it as always, man. Thanks, Zinno. We'll talk soon.
Buddy, love you, Bubs. Thank you.
All right, bud. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com for South Point Volkswagen. Hey, look, they got their red tag sales event going on right now. A lot of times you hear car ads all the time, and you don't really lock in and pay attention to them until you're in the market for a vehicle. So if that's you right now and your ears perked up a little bit, I mean, you could buy a brand new 2024 Atlas for 2.9% APR for 60 months. Jetta for 3.9% for 60 months. I mean, it's 5 years. You got to learn more about the great deals going on right now with the Red Tag sales event. Listen, I want to tell you about Volkswagen's great German engineering, style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost. 9 different IIHS top safety picks, the highest safety designation, so you know you're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road, and manufactured in the U.S. of A. at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, so you know you're supporting American jobs as well. What more could you want? South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Because it's Wednesday, but I regret to inform you, no Russ Mitchell today. Russ had something family had to take care of. No worries. Totally respect it. We love Russ. He'll be back with us next week. Brandon Marcello will pinch hit for Russ today. So we'll preview some college football, some SEC with Brandon Marcello in about 45 minutes from right now. So we sort of invert the Pluckers trivia segment here on Wednesdays now during football season. So when we come back, we'll do Pluckers trivia. We usually have Tigers in the pros. We'll get to the updated full Saints injury report. Brandon Marcello next hour. Otter Locks, ton to do. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Man, it's been so cool these past several weeks ever since our friends over at Duplessis Builders announced their NIL deals with Kyron Lacey and Harlem Berry. How many people have reached out to Derek Duplessis, have called Duplessis and sort of thanked them for what they're doing for the student athletes and obviously, the Tiger program as well. It's a really cool thing to do because, what NIL was meant to be, that's what Duplessis is doing. So Derek Duplessis did an NIL deal with LSU receiver Kyron Lacey and 5-star running back commit Harlem Berry. And so pretty cool. This Sunday, I'm going to be out there doing some video content with Harlem and with Kyron. It'll be a lot of fun to get to do that. And, of course, they're going to get a chance to talk about Duplessis and their football experience as well. Listen, if you're thinking about a pool, outdoor kitchen, you want to build your backyard paradise, you need Duplessis Builders. Go to duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. You can see pictures and videos of all their amazing work, learn more about the process. duplessisbuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Shell are excited to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Tiger Stadium with our Draw to 100 sweepstakes. We're giving you the opportunity to join in the VIP-style celebrations on October 12th for the Ole Miss game. Sign up today at 1045ESPN.com. We'll live stream the drawing on October 10th, and the 100th name drawn will win stadium club seats, sideline passes, and autographed memorabilia. It's the Draw to 100 sweepstakes presented by Shell, the rhythm of Louisiana.
Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. We talked in hour one about the UNLV quarterback that's leaving UNLV 4 games into the season because UNLV didn't fulfill an NIL promise. So he's going to even go somewhere else. He'll redshirt this year, go somewhere else where he will get an opportunity to be paid. Adrian Bailey sent this text. And Matt, your point was correct about the UNLV quarterback. No one's complaining about UNLV committing to the Mountain West last week, but considering jumping to the Pac-12 this week, more money. Y'all, the adults in the room, it's a great point. The adults in the room are the ones that have screwed this up from jump. And look, you can argue if it's screwed up, if it's not, whatever. I would argue that 100 years of college football is what was screwed up. I have argued that many times. We love college football in spite of college football. We love our schools. We love our traditions and our rivalries and the pageantry and wrapping ourselves in our school colors and going and cheering and like, we love it in spite of all its many obvious glaring flaws. We hand wave away the things that would be so obvious to normal people that weren't blinded by the emotion and loyalty and love and passion that encompasses college football. But college football has been screwed for 100 years. And the adults in the room are the ones that have just made it worse and worse and worse. And now, that is due. And you're seeing what's happening for 100 years of malpractice. So, the adults screwed it up. I'm not going to be mad at the kids. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll get to Pluckers Trivia. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Big shout out again, man. If you haven't heard yet, Miss Beth Barron, I'm going to keep just singing this song from the mountaintops. Modern Tire Dealer publication named Miss Beth Barron the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. Miss Beth Barron over at Shawbills. That's national. All the tire dealers in the country, they honored her as the tire dealer, the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. Miss Beth Barron over at Shawbills. Her dad, Mr. Charlie, opened up the company in 1968, passed her the baton. She runs it now and does an amazing job continuing on that trajectory that they set forth more than 50 years ago, where they're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. They're going to treat you like family. And because they treat you like family, you're going to keep coming back year after year after year for everything that goes on with your vehicle. Oil change, tire rotation, check engine light, brake squeaking, whatever it may be. And, of course, when it's time to buy tires, why would you buy anywhere else than a place that's going to sell you the best tires for the cheapest price? That's Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, let's hit some trivia, Muse.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia, every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
Oh, Muse. Muse.
2-1 last week.
Muse, well.
2-1, it's a winner.
No anime or Disney princesses to save you this week, Muse.
Darn.
I do still like the Family Feud theme more. This one's grown on me a little bit. Jazzy.
I dig it. I really kind of like it.
In a vacuum, I think it's great. Compared to Family Feud, I don't love it. You know what I mean? Like if we never had the Family Feud theme.
Yeah, you'd be all about it.
Be all about it.
I just sent off a bunch of stuff, too. I wish I would have thought of this.
What, changing it back to Family Feud?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Muse, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Roughly 1 year ago, holding company Endeavor merged the UFC and WWE to create what new company?
That happened?
Yeah.
Huh?
That IRL.
I don't know. Pro Combat Entertainment.
I love that you gave yourself the buzzer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that's not right.
It'd been a hell of a thing if you'd guessed it right. You did not, however. TKO.
That makes sense.
TKO is what we're All right, number 2 here, Muse. Again, no anime or Disney princesses this week. So.
You see, but that one right there, that was semi-wrestling, and I whiffed on that.
I thought you maybe had a shot because of wrestling. This will challenge if the faculty and staff over at St. Michael the Archangel are worth a darn.
Wow. All right.
If the degree you got over there, the diploma, if the money Marilyn Monroe Musso spent to send you over there.
Staff has changed a lot since I left in
walked
2012. Throw that out there.
And they announced Matthew Quintavious Musso.
That's not what they said. Wouldn't that be something?
If it was worth anything.
If it was Quintavious.
Remember it was Quintavious Leslie. Remember?
I do.
The LSU receiver. Boy, he was so thin. He was.
Tiny.
He was a toothpick. Quintavious, not Quintavious. He was Quintavious. All right, Muse. What is the minimum number of sides needed to create a polygon?
Oh, so we're talking geometry here, which I was horrible at. Poly just means many, though, right? 3?
Oh, what a guess! He got it! It is 3.
It's more than 2.
I thought you were going to go 2.
No, it's more than 2.
I thought you were going to go 2.
Poly, yeah.
Good deductive reasoning there, Muse. St. Michael the Archangel can keep their accreditation. Okay, Muse.
Gee, I'm glad I saved the alma mater there.
Here we go.
It was all hinging on me. What you got?
Which of the 5 boroughs in New York is home to Spider-Man and Arthur Ashe Stadium?
Brooklyn.
Oh, man.
No?
God, dog, you hate to see that.
Spider-Man's the one that got me there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Spider-Man didn't take place in Brooklyn?
I'm genuinely... Have you been to New York?
Yes.
Where did you fly into? LaGuardia?
So I didn't fly...
Or JFK?
No. I flew out of JFK, but I didn't fly into New York. I actually flew into Vermont. We drove down there. We were seeing some people in Vermont. And
So you've only been once?
Yes. I've only been one time. But I flew out of JFK.
Well, LaGuardia is in Queens. And when you fly into LaGuardia, you land right next to... what do they call the Met Stadium? Whatever the...
Well, it's not Shea anymore.
Well,
yeah.
Shea Stadium doesn't exist anymore. But
right.
the new one, the whatever it's called.
City Field, I think?
Yes, City.
Something
That's it. City Field, yeah. And Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Where they play tennis for the US Open.
So Spider-Man was in Queens?
Queens.
Yeah. We've established I know nothing about tennis.
You also know nothing about New York, apparently, because I think there's another time we had a question about the boroughs or something like that, or something about New York City. And
but the confusion there was with Manhattan, which, again, yes, is one of the boroughs. But, I mean, that's also, when I say I've been to New York, I've just been in Manhattan. I didn't go to Brooklyn. I didn't go to Queens or any of the other ones. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's fun. It was Christmas time. A little overrated.
You did, because JFK's not in Manhattan. There's no airport in Manhattan.
Well, yeah. So, obviously, left. But when I, stayed in
Nobody
New York,
goes to vacation in any of the other boroughs.
Yeah, because they're terrible.
Well, it's other. There's things
they're
to
awful.
do. You can go to the Bronx and you can watch the Yankees, or you can go.
Who the hell wants to do that?
Lots of people, apparently. I've done it many times. As a matter of fact, you can go to Queens and you can go to Arthur Ashe Stadium or Citi Field. There's things you could do, but I just wouldn't recommend hanging out in any of the boroughs. Yeah. Now, Brooklyn.
I've heard good things
there's
about
nice. Brooklyn is very. It can become very residential for people who commute into the city. They'll live in Brooklyn and do some nice views of Manhattan from Brooklyn as well. It's not bad.
I want to go back. I enjoyed the trip. It's good.
I went 3 times in like a span of 4 months this year. It's crazy. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's a great place. Start spreading the news.
No, we're not going to do that.
I'm leaving today.
Please stop. Please stop with the news.
I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Muse, that's what they play after the Yankees win.
The
Yankees. Oh yeah.
I don't watch Major League Baseball, Matt. It's doesn't really do it for me.
Your team stinks, you chump.
Baseball season ends for me this week.
That's what happens, Matt. Muse, when you're nothing but a front runner.
Jeez.
You start cheering for a team just because they start winning after a century of nonsense.
That holds no water now because I'm cheering for them when they are absolutely terrible. Yes, it does.
You only jumped aboard because it became trendy and cool to wear that stupid red B. You and Sharif and all you other front-running chumps. Oh, look, they came down 3-0 in 04. I'll be a Red Sox fan. Like all the losers in this state who have no reason to cheer for the Red Sox. A pox on you and your family. A pox on you.
Wow.
For all eternity. Trivia tonight at Pluckers. 7:30 Blue Bond at 8 o'clock Nicholson. Muse won't be there because he stinks at trivia. He's going to watch his stupid baseball team finish their stupid season with a losing record.
I'm very ready for them to finish the stupid season.
It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. That's not stupid at all. Great place to be. They're not front runners over there. They've been the front runner for 60 years. If you're looking to beautify your outdoor spaces as we move into fall, Clegg's can help y'all. You get by any of the 4 locations. They've got all their fall decor out, all the pumpkins and hay bales, the squash, the gourds, the corn stalks. I would really, really recommend you go check out their Facebook page if you haven't done it, because they do a great job of updating all of the different decor that they have. They'll show you pictures of all the inventory. So if you want to get on by, if you're trying to decorate that front porch, the back patio, maybe the office space, indoor, outdoor, boy, they got such a great selection at all of the Clegg's Nursery locations. So get on by and see them. They got Johnny Naylor seeds if you're planting that fall vegetable garden. You know what to do. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Number 2, you know what we do. Matthew Giuseppe Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Giuseppe.
Says it on your birth
I
certificate.
kind of like it. All right.
Marilyn Monroe Musso showed me your birth certificate.
No, she didn't. All right.
No, she didn't.
No, she.
Imagine being like, she did that, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
No yelling on the phone.
Yeah. Who would steal 30 bag lunches? Jayden Daniels, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, thanks to that dominating effort by him on Monday Night Football.
But you don't know Pete Sampras.
Yeah, Billy Madison, way better. Like, way more entertaining than Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras! You're
Tennis
a
is a blind
guy.
spot. Tennis is a blind spot.
How do you not know his name?
Tennis is a blind spot.
Clearly.
Yeah, 294 yards for Jayden Daniels total in the game. Obviously, 91% completion. That is a rookie record. Through 3 games, completed a league-high 80% of his throws, as a matter of fact. Just leading the league in completion percentage. Solid. No interceptions. He's been great.
None.
He'll take it out on the Cardinals on Sunday in the Commanders' next game. The Kansas City Chiefs could be getting some really good news for them here coming up soon, just in time for their matchup with the Saints Our guy Clyde, we all know he's been on IR with a non-football injury. He talked openly about his battle with PTSD, and that's kind of the reason he hasn't played yet. But week 4 is going to come and go, and then he's back. He tweets, or excuse me, not tweet, but on Facebook, pictures of him in his Chiefs uniform with an hourglass. So it looks like the return is imminent. Week 5, they face the Saints on Monday Night Football. And it would be a big boost for them, too, because no Isaiah Pacheco right now. They need a little boost at running back. No offense to Carson Steele. He's got great hair and has run admirably in the absence. But, former first-round pick here. Potentially come back there.
Yeah, what's Calicut?
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Steele. Get out of here.
Good name, too. Carson Steele. Solid. Could be a football player, country singer. I feel like it'd be good at country singer.
It's no Matthew Morgan Musso.
I don't like that one as much. That's not good. I don't like that one at all.
Take that up with your parents.
I don't have to because it's not my name. Alex Bregman last night, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Double number 26 with drive and a run, and also score a run of his own. Oh, well. So 74 RBI. Bregman really turned it around this year, man. It was awesome to see.
They played a matinee today.
Oh.
And they pulled him in the 4th. I got this report from people who were there, so he could get a standing ovation as he left last home game at Minute Maid, and very likely the last game that he's going to play with the Astros. It is widely assumed, Bregman, who they sold their home in Houston and bought a home in Arizona, that he is not going to be back with the Astros. Terrio told us last week he thinks that he's going to sign with Diamondbacks and move to Arizona.
Wild Soul. Get some.
Yeah, got that right there.
That's what it's called, right?
Oh,
darn it. Josh Smith. 2 for 4.
Love this.
2 for 4, double for him. 28 doubles on the year for Smith, man. That was awesome. Kevin Galston's on the bump tonight. That's Tigers and Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, or maybe you have a birthday, an anniversary coming up, or a just because piece of jewelry you'd love to buy for the lady in your life, go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They have, of course, diamond rings. They've got earrings and watches and pendants and necklaces and everything that you can imagine. You will thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations in all: Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, Sports Center, and then we'll kick off Hour 3. Don't you move.
AFR.
Man, we were looking at the break at the storm track. Helene? It looks like it's going to hit Florida. But it's just another reminder, y'all, when storm season comes, this is the time where it becomes so top of mind for people to think about that Generac automatic home standby generator. And this is the time to call our friends over at Optimize. You can go to generatorpeople.com, generatorpeople.com. It's that easy. You go to the website, generatorpeople.com. That's where you start. You can get all the info you need. Remember, they have a price quote guarantee. With Optimize, when one of their technicians comes to your house and they give you a quote, that is the price. You're not going to see other add-ons or anything change. That's the price that you're going to pay. And, of course, every single person listening to me would love to have a Generac automatic home standby generator. No exceptions. Power goes out, your generator comes on, powers the whole house like nothing happened. Who do you call? Can you afford it? Well, $600 down payment. They got financing for any budget. And, of course, you call the Generator People. GeneratorPeople.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Packers quarterback Jordan Love limited at practice as the team gets ready for the Vikings on Sunday. If he's out a 3rd straight game with a sprained MCL, Malik Willis starts again. And it won't be easy against a Minnesota defense the Purple People Eaters of the 1970s would be impressed with. ESPN NFL analyst Jason McCourty.
They're sending guys all over the place at you, or they're dropping them in coverage, and the quarterback has to figure it out after the snap. For Malik Willis and this Packers offense, if he's out there, they may decide to go some tempo, getting on the ball and going fast, trying to slow down the pressure that Brian Flores can bring.
Defensive coordinator Brian Flores' defensive unit leads the NFL with 16 sacks. Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez, left elbow flexor strain, put on the IL, won't be available for the start of the ALDS. Marcus Stroman starts in his place tonight versus Baltimore. Yankees clinch the AL East with a win. Both tonight's and tomorrow's Mets-Braves games have been postponed due to inclement weather. Will be made up as a doubleheader Monday in Atlanta. Mets, Braves, and Diamondbacks all battling for the final at 2 NL wildcard spots.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Matthew Mouton Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
A pox on Mike Greenberg.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Boo that man.
Hump day.
Everybody tweet at Mike Greenberg right now.
It's hump day.
And tell him how awful he is.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
For no show in our show.
Hump day.
Dorothy man-toothed us.
It's hump day.
He took us out for a lovely steak dinner.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And never called us again.
Hump day.
Without even taking us out for the steak dinner.
It's hump day.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Guys, let's leave the mothers out of this.
Hump day.
After all, Wes here is probably just a little salty after finishing number 2 in the ratings here.
It's hump day.
You know those ratings are flawed.
Mike.
They
What day is it, Mike?
They don't take into account televisions with more than one television set in the same room.
Hump day.
I guess I'll just have to take you at your word.
It's hump day.
Number 2.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I love that.
Hump day.
Thank you. We were supposed to have Greeny here. He no-showed us. Don't really tweet him. I'm just joking. He dropped a book yesterday. He's jam-packed, doing a million interviews. Supposed to be with us right at 3. Never called. It's okay. It's okay.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We're Baton Rouge. You know what I mean?
Hump day.
Now, we're also Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Alexandria, YouTube, WBTO. We're all, you're going to do one. It's probably one to do. You know what I mean?
It's hump day.
In this part.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That's all right. Zinno is here talking some Falcons.
Hump day.
Brandon Marcello in 10 minutes.
It's hump day.
We're glad you're here. All right, let's get going here. All right, Saints injury report. First injury report of the week came out, and this is starting to be a problem. Let me rephrase that. This is the continuation of a problem that started quite literally the first workout of the first day of training camp when Kendre Miller went down with a hamstring injury. And if you remember that first week of camp out in California, every day it was another starter that went down with an injury. And as they've gotten closer to the season and now into the season, the injury report has continued to grow. You've not had Colin Saunders yet in this season, who's going to bolster the interior of your defense whenever he returns. We know Eric McCoy's now going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Taysom Hill missed this past week against the Eagles. There was a mixed bag here on the injury report, for the Falcons, first day of the Falcons week. 4 players did not practice. Alante Taylor, Demario Davis, Alvin Kamara, Cesar Ruiz. Those are 4 starters and 4 guys you count on pretty significantly. Taylor with an illness, Davis with a hamstring, Kamara with hip and rib injuries, and Cesar Ruiz with a knee. You might recall Ruiz left the game briefly on Sunday against the Eagles and then returned. Apparently that was a knee injury, and that's what he's dealing with right now. Derek Carr was actually listed on the injury report with a left groin injury, but he was a full participant, which is great news. So it's not limiting him in any way, but he is listed on the injury report. The great news is Taysom Hill returned, was a full participant. Was listed with the chest injury. The report on Sunday from Jay Glazer, bruised lung, but Taysom was a full go. And then DeMarco Jackson, Colin Saunders, and Landon Young all limited. Taysom, I think, is one that I'll get to the offensive line because that's significant, but I want to start with Taysom because, on Sunday, in particular because you lost Eric McCoy and it caused such an issue with your ability to run the football, had you had Taysom Hill, it is fair to say that would have added a different dimension to your rushing offense that you very clearly lacked. Your ability to run with power between the tackles, and we saw it on a 3rd and 1, then on 4th and 1 where they tried to get outside. Or they got a little creative, I should say, with Kamara in the single wing. If you had Taysom taking that direct snap, maybe a different, maybe not, but maybe a different result. Here was Dennis Allen, who was asked about Taysom.
I don't know if anybody has about Taysom, too, just since we're on the injury kit. Is there an update on him?
He practiced today, and I'm anticipating him being ready to go this weekend.
That's great news. He just adds such a different dimension to your offense. We all know it. You don't need me to spell it out for you. He's the most versatile player in the NFL. Maybe the most versatile player we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. I don't know. I wasn't around when Red Grange was out there running, but maybe since that guy. There have been Cordell Stewart / guys, Antoine Randall. We've seen those guys in the league, but nothing quite like this. A guy that could be a quarterback, who can run power, who can block punts, and can play tight end. He's just awesome. I mean, we all know it. So you get Taysom back, it changes that dimension of your offense and maybe helps alleviate some of the pressure from losing Eric McCoy and that domino effect. Now, the news here on Tuesday was that the Saints worked out on Tuesday. They worked out 4 players, and they ultimately signed Chris Reed. So there was on the transact. There were 3 transactions that the Saints had on announced on Wednesday, and of course one of them was Eric McCoy going to IR, and that was completely expected. You can go read about it all at LouisianaSports.net if you'd like to. Ross has the report up there. So Eric McCoy went to IR. The Saints signed Shane Lemieux from the practice squad to the active roster, and then they added free agent Chris Reed to the practice squad. So we kind of asked the question and wondered, with the addition of Chris Reed, would it elevate Lemieux? Would they sign Reed to the active roster? How would that work? Well, now we know. Shane Lemieux gets elevated. The real question with Lemieux is if he's a guy that potentially could be an option at center if you need him there. Here's what Dennis Allen said.
He worked center all of training camp, so obviously Lucas Patrick has been playing center for us, so we'll be ready with whatever we decide to do come game day.
While he didn't disclose what they're going to decide to do on game day, what's interesting is he didn't shoot down the idea of Lemieux playing center, and he had played there, because the other idea would be, do you move Cesar Ruiz from guard to center? But if you do that, now all 3 starting spots on the interior of your line are different, right? I mean, McCoy was your center, and Patrick was your left guard, and Ruiz is your right guard. McCoy goes out, you move Patrick over, you have a new left guard, and if something were, knock on wood, to happen to Patrick, well then now if you moved Ruiz inside, now the entire interior of your line is all different from the line you started with against Philadelphia. So it might make more sense if you can get Shane Lemieux, who's been with you through training camp, ready to go and activate to be center if you need a backup. It sounds like he will be active on game day, but we'll wait and see how that may all go. One more from Dennis Allen here about this offensive line for the New Orleans Saints as they get ready for this game. He was asked about McCoy's injury and if that puts more on Derek Carr and sort of how that impacts his ability to play on Sunday.
Obviously Eric was instrumental in the communication with everything that we're doing up front, and so, yeah, anytime you lose a guy like that, is that smart, does such a great job of communicating, and is a good player to go along with that, it makes it tough. But we've got guys that we believe in that'll go in and step in and play well in his absence.
One guy also worth keeping an eye on is Landon Young, who was on the injury report with a foot injury. Allen said they've been cross-training and moving him all over the line. That's another guy who's a swing player who can play inside out. We saw him do it. Look, we saw him play left tackle in the preseason. We've seen him play guard as well. He's your swing guy at maybe any of the 4 positions aside from center. Lemieux going up can play on the interior or at center, depending on how it goes. So you'll probably have 8 offensive linemen active on game day, and it's safe to say Young, if he's healthy, and Lemieux will be in that number as well. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. You weigh or measure something. They sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Got my bottle of Evermore right here. When you twist the cap to open a bottle of Evermore or anything, there's an amount of pressure, a PSI, required to open that bottle, to be able to twist that lid. Well, machines calibrate that pressure. Well, Michelli calibrates those machines. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, but it's not just in food and beverage. It can be in agriculture, petrochemical, so many different industries. If you want to find out all the different things Michelli does, go to the website. It's a great resource. Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Okay, y'all, we'll get to Jimmy here in about 30 minutes. If you want Otter Locks already, they're posted at LouisianaSports.net, and they're shared on all our socials. So if you want Jimmy's plays now, before he joins us on air in 30 minutes, you can get them over at LouisianaSports.net. If you hit the sports betting tab, you can get it right there at LouisianaSports.net. By the way, we do now have an affiliate link with our friends at BetUS. So If you sports bet or would like to learn, would love it if you use our affiliate link. That essentially helps us, right? So you can go to louisianasports.net. You'll see the Bet US tab, or on the sports betting page, you'll see where it says Bet Here on any of these posts. Just click that link right there. It'll take you right to Bet US. Great partners of ours here at louisianasports.net. So we appreciate Bet US as well. Okay, let me knock out a break. Brandon Marcello talking a little college football the weekend ahead in the SEC. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, getting close to the start of those turnarounds we've been telling you about with Action Industries. They got 2 month-long turnarounds, 4 to 5 weeks, 7 12s. So it was a lot. But you're going to make that money here during football season and before we get to the holidays. So it's a great opportunity. They're looking for 100 to 125 people. So if you're a crane operator, a welder, a pipe fitter, a boiler maker, our friends over at Action Industries, they want to talk to you. All of the work, by the way, is local. It's in Greater Baton Rouge. So it's a huge plus as well right there. If you want to apply, 2 ways you can do it. You can apply in person at their Highway 30 office in Geismar. Just go into the office, ask for Zach, or online. ActionIndinc.com is an Action Industries Incorporated. ActionIndinc.com. They're hiring right now. Reach out today. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Massive weekend in the SEC. Maybe the biggest game preseason everyone had circled on their calendar will take place in Tuscaloosa. Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports, formerly of AL.com, Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here, talk about the SEC slate. How are you, man?
Doing well. Talking about everything other than actual football games today because of NIL and all that crap. So what's up?
Let's talk football. That would be way more fun. Actually, I don't know if you remember this, but I was telling Musso, our producer, in the break. I was on at SEC Media Days. Brandon and I had this awkward, uncomfortable, borderline uncomfortable moment where we were in the elevator. I was getting off. We got off at the same floor, and the Omni is massive. And we ended up being like neighbors, like room next door to each other. I don't know if you remember this. We had a very long walk, and it was like, "Hey man, are you following me?" We ended up like the end of the hallway. It was probably like a 2.5 minute walk in the elevator. But anyway, that's way more fun than talking about NIL, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's. I want to jump right into Bama, Georgia. Both teams obviously had a bye last week, and they're getting set for this game in Tuscaloosa. We know Bama's going to be a home underdog for the first time, actually since LSU went there in 2007. Do you feel like, or how much has the tone of this game changed, given that there's no Nick Saban there anymore? I mean, it's changed, but how much more? How much different is it?
I think it's different from the perspective of, I think that's what's really affected maybe the line and our expectations going into this game. I think Alabama is being kind of underrated here when it comes to the line. I still kind of expected this to either be like a pick'em or Alabama slightly favored instead of Georgia. I think we're all just kind of wait to see for Alabama to put together like back-to-back consistent performances on both sides of the ball week to week. But that it is a little bit different. I will say this. I think this Alabama team offensively is better prepared and schematically prepared to beat Georgia than last year when Alabama did beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. And the reason I say that is because, listen, Georgia really shut down Jalen Milroe last year in that game. He didn't have a great game passing. It was his lowest yards per pass attempt total of the entire season. He only ran for 29 yards, yet Bama still won. And this year, Kalen DeBoer has obviously changed that offense in his first year, and he's put much more onus on Jalen Milroe to run the ball with a lot of designed quarterback runs. So offensively, I think Alabama's in a better position today to beat Georgia than they were at the SEC championship game last year.
Brandon, I'm hearing a lot of I guess I've just learned this lesson about down talking Georgia or anybody that's at the top of the heap. I haven't forgotten the way they absolutely suffocated Clemson.
Yeah.
And then they beat Tennessee Tech, who cares, and they played the close one against Kentucky. How much do you hand wave the Kentucky game just because ho-hum, Georgia gets everyone shot and they were looking for bigger things? And how much of it is legit problems for Georgia?
It's a little bit of both. I hate saying that. Everybody always says that. It's a little bit of both, but it is. I watched Georgia. I watched Georgia in person against Clemson, and the difference in that game really was that Georgia was really being headstrong on, let's just run the ball and attack the middle of the field here and run it right into the teeth of a monster Clemson defense where their strength was right there in the middle. And then finally they started attacking the edges, both in the run game and in the passing game, and guess what? It opened things up. They scored 28 points in the second half. It was great adjustments by Mike Bobo and crew, right? And then against Kentucky, some of the issues that we saw against Clemson popped up again, and that mostly has to do with Carson Beck maybe not necessarily trusting 2 to 3 receivers in that offense. I think they're still trying to find answers after Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers left from last season, and you even saw it in the first half of that game against Clemson earlier this year. So I'm looking for him to spread the ball out a little bit more. He's a very talented quarterback, has one of the quickest releases in all of college football, but can he find a couple of other receivers that he really trusts, that he can go to? I thought in the Clemson game in the second half he did especially. He was throwing the ball around to 3-4 different receivers. One problem heading into this game is that our 24/7 sports site is reporting that London Humphreys, who he really popped off the bench against Clemson in the second half, he's out for this game battling mononucleosis. So I've got some questions there, but I think it's a little bit of both. Georgia can be explosive offensively. It's just, are they going to be a little bit too stubborn to kind of do what they did in the second half against Clemson, which is spread the field a little bit, see if you can get some speed off the edge against this Alabama defense, especially against those corners and safeties that are a little bit younger for Bama. I mean, they're very talented, but make them think. Make them have to chase after you. Make them have to make one-on-one tackles in the open field. Don't run it into the heart of this Alabama defense.
You said you were surprised at the line. Do you give a lean, an edge? Do you think Bama wins it at home?
I don't. And I wrote out my picks today. Okay. I was leaning Alabama on Monday when I was doing my show Monday morning. But the more I looked at it, more I kept watching Alabama and also Georgia film. And then also going back to, as I said, what I saw in person against Clemson, that Georgia defense is absolutely relentless. Only team in all of college football that hasn't allowed an offensive touchdown this entire season. Right now, they have not allowed an offensive touchdown the last 4 games, dating back to the SEC championship game last year. Defense travels on the road. But Bama's offense is going to be the best one they have faced so far this year. Having said all of that, coming off a bye week for both teams, I think Kirby Smart is going to be a little bit more prepared, knowing the personnel there much better than this staff now at Alabama. And I've got Georgia eking out a one-possession game there in Tuscaloosa.
Brandon Marcello is with us, college football writer, CBS Sports. No Quinn Ewers, and look, Texas isn't going to have a problem this week against Mississippi State. They shouldn't. I'll put it to you that way. Everybody's seen Mississippi State play. Is there a point where you start to worry about Texas if Ewers doesn't get back or get back healthy? No disrespect to Arch or anything, but there's just a difference with a guy that's made, one start and a guy that's been what Ewers has been throughout his career.
Sure, but, it's best if this injury situation is happening now than later in the season, right? Yeah. I think that this is not necessarily a case study, but a precursor potentially for some top 10 teams going down the stretch here. You better have 2 really good quarterbacks going into the playoff when you might have to play 15, 16, 17 games, right?
Yeah.
Injuries are part of the game. It's going to affect things. Can you imagine Tennessee going into the playoff and Nico Iamaleava is injured? Tennessee doesn't have anybody behind him that's anywhere close to his talent level. That makes Tennessee maybe from a top 4 team to maybe just in the top 20 and then maybe getting beat at a home game in the playoff. We're going to see the potential there. I mean, I can't predict it, obviously. But if you do not have a solid quarterback as a backup ready to go in the playoffs, you could be in big trouble. And, heck, we just saw it recently at Florida State last year. That's why they were left out of the playoff. Jordan Travis was injured, and no one believed in the backup, and they were left out of the playoff. And at least with Texas, they're the rarity in the sport right now, where they have 2 not just good, but great to elite quarterbacks to lean on. So Texas, I think, is just going to keep winning games, even if Quinn Ewers is on the bench. But having said that, yeah, sure, this offense could be a little bit more electric out there with Quinn Ewers, but look at the schedule right now. They don't really have any challenges really coming up in the very near future. So I'm not too worried about Texas. Of any of the teams out there, Texas is the one I've actually got the most confidence in right now because they're showing that, hey, if we have some injuries, we'll be okay, even at the most important spot on the field at quarterback.
Oklahoma and Auburn, neither of them are contenders, obviously, but both are interesting for different reasons. Which team would you say is the more interesting storyline this week? Oklahoma going on the road to the Plains after the loss to Tennessee, or Auburn kind of desperate for a win right now?
I think it's Auburn because of just how rabid that fan base is and how much the boosters really have control over that program a lot of times. And you've got Hugh Freeze just putting a foot in his mouth, criticizing his quarterbacks, and then, of course, just the other day on his coach's show saying if they play out Arkansas 9 more times, they beat them 9 times.
Did you see the Arkansas tweet with the interception? The Arkansas.
Oh yes, 9 times out of 9, this is an interception.
The official Arkansas Twitter. For those who didn't see it, they tweeted a video of one of the interceptions. Said 9 times out of 9, this is an interception. This is a good troll job.
I mean, there's so much pressure on Auburn and Hugh Freeze right now, not just from opposing fan bases making fun of Auburn for everything Hugh Freeze is saying, the way they're performing, being dead last in turnover margin in the power conferences right now. But is Hugh Freeze handling this the right way? He was being questioned all offseason about why he didn't bring in a transfer quarterback. And I go back, guys, listen, when he was at Liberty, they came to Arkansas to play Arkansas, and they beat Arkansas, right? Mm-hmm. The Auburn job had just come open, and so I went to that game. It's right down the road for me to go talk to Hugh Freeze about the Auburn job, about, are you interested in all this? And I asked him about quarterbacks, right? And this still sticks with me today, and I'm sure I'm going to write a follow-up on this in the next few weeks if this continues. He said that he takes great pride in being a guy who can take any quarterback and turn them into a great quarterback. He says, I did it with Malik Willis at Liberty when he left Auburn and went to Liberty and he put up all those numbers and was a big-time player. And he said, I think I can do the same there at Auburn with the quarterbacks they have right now. Well, he brought in a guy, Peyton Thorne, and he has not panned out these first two seasons. And now he's going to Hank Brown, maybe, a guy that they recruited as a high schooler, and he believes that he can shape and mold them into something. And so I say all that to say this. Hugh Freeze, it's not surprising to me that he's being stubborn about the quarterback spot because he's such a big believer in himself to get everything back on track. The problem is that he has never been the head coach at a program as big and storied as Auburn. Ole Miss, he can maybe get away with that a little bit and win 8 games in a year or whatever. But at Auburn, that's impossible to do. If you're not winning 8 games, you're seen as a failure, let alone somewhere where they expect to win 10 games this season. And things just look dreadful at quarterback, and there's no immediate answer. And the game has changed since the last time he was in the SEC. The transfer portal in NIL is there for a reason. Auburn could have and should have went in the portal and gotten a better quarterback this offseason, but Hugh Freeze opted not to and not pursue it with his full head of steam, and they're paying the price for it right now.
Boy, if they drop that one at home, oh man, fire on the plains. That is going to be something to see. And last thing, you mentioned, look, Arkansas went and won at Auburn last week. Now they get A&M, who quietly has won 3 games since losing the opener against Notre Dame. This is always a weird one, the one that they do in Jerry World. Do you have a feeling like on how good Arkansas really is or how good A&M really is? I don't think we for sure know with these two teams. We'll get a much better sense after Saturday.
If Arkansas could cut down the turnovers, I think they're a good team. I think they're probably like a 7-win team this year, even against their schedule. But that's their problem with Jayden Green at quarterback. He's electric, but he also turns the ball over, and for that matter, the entire offense. Their offensive line hasn't held up as much as I would like, especially at the tackle spots. Their defense gives up yardage, but they're opportunistic. They make turnovers. They make some big plays when they have to, but they have issues getting the quarterback sometimes too. This game to me just comes down to which quarterback plays better and which defense is better. A&M's defense is better. And if Marcel Reed gets the start at quarterback, which I mean, goodness gracious, why wouldn't you after the way he's played these last 2 games? A&M's going to win this. It's crazy. This game is always weird, as you said. It's had some weird swings, some very close games. Arkansas blowing it a couple of years ago in Jerry World. A&M has won 11 of the last 12 in Jerry World against the Hogs. This is the last time they're playing there before this goes back to campus on campus. The Aggies just seem built more, and they've got some momentum going into this, much more so than Arkansas, which is still trying to figure out some things offensively, and they're going through some growing pains right now with Jayden Green.
He's Brandon Marcello. You can read his stuff over at CBS Sports. Get him on Twitter, X, at @BMarcello. Always appreciate the visit, man. Thanks for making a couple of minutes today.
All right. See you guys.
Yep. It's our pleasure. Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. It's Dr. Blake Williamson. He's the best. One of the things I love that Dr. Blake always explains is he calls it vocal local. You'll understand when you sit with him for a consultation or like when you're actually going through a surgical procedure. He's so amazing at talking you through everything in a manner that is calm and relaxing and that will make you comfortable with everything that's happening. It's just a very talented, very gifted surgeon, and it's he's a great resource and asset to our community. So it doesn't matter if you're in Baton Rouge. I mean, there's people who come from Texas and Mississippi from all over to see Dr. Blake Williamson. So, I mean, if you're going to trust your eyes to someone, trust your eyes to the best. That's Dr. Blake Williamson. You want to see 2020, ditch the contacts and glasses forever, you got to go see my friend Dr. Blake Williamson over at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, been a really good show. Glad you're with us. We'll knock out a break. Otterlocks in 15 minutes. Remember, if you want, you don't want to wait, you can go to louisianasports.net. Otterlocks are live there at louisianasports.net. Jimmy's got 5 plays tonight, all in the MLB. If you want them, they're live right now at louisianasports.net. Of course, you can see our affiliate link to bet. If you want to use BetUS, you can just use the link right there. We'd love it if you do that. It would help us out tremendously, so we'd really appreciate that. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We'll continue here on AFR.
AFR.
If you are a business owner, maybe you're an HR manager, you're an operations manager, you're the person in charge of hiring, and your business is losing productivity because you can't find the right people, the people you need are Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. Look, their corporate headquarters here in Baton Rouge, but they've got offices all over the country, and they help place people in jobs at different companies all over the country and all over the world, as a matter of fact. If you're looking for skilled blue-collar labor, Glow Resources can help you. If you're looking for white-collar, their professional placement division, they can help. From any office job to C-level management, Glow Resources can help. The proof is in the pudding, y'all. They've got a 93% retention rate. It's incredible. And if for some reason the person they find for your job doesn't work out, they'll give you a prorated refund or help you find a replacement absolutely free. What do you have to lose? Glow Resources. glowresources.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Congratulations to Jamari Tillman of Baton Rouge. Jamari is a Week 4 winner in the 2024 Pick'em Contest and wins a Hooters wing party for 10 people. Don't forget to make your picks for Round 5 by Thursday at noon. Weekly winners will receive a Hooters wing party for 10 people, and the first place season-long champion will receive a 75-inch 4K flat-screen TV and soundbar, plus free Hooters wings for an entire year. It's the 2024 College Football Pick'em, presented by Hooters.
Will Flake on the text line. I just took both of Greeny's books out of my Amazon cart.
You're doing us a solid there, Will. Appreciate that, man.
No, buy his books.
Nope.
Buy his books. Buy his books. Greeny was supposed to join us. I'm sure he's got a jam-packed schedule. He was literally supposed to be here right at the start of the show, and I insisted he would call. He'll call.
He didn't call.
He didn't call.
He didn't call.
Anyway, so there was another one. Clayton Knight. He sold you out like Ocho.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That one cuts deep.
That does.
And Ocho was so
I believed him,
man.
I believed him.
Like, I still believe he would or will, but I'm not gonna beg you every day, man.
I don't think he's gonna do it.
Like, if I held his feet to the fire, like, for example, we do a bit here, Paulie clips it, we put it on social, tag him, I guarantee you he'll be like, oh, yeah, my bad. But my thing is, like, anytime I ever have a wager out there, I lose, like, immediately, boom, here it is. And he even was like, that week was like, all right, I'll be there Wednesday, let me look at this. I mean, he was, like, ready to do it that week. I mean, I probably followed up with him 3 times.
That's the part that bothers me.
And I'm like, I'm just not going to chase. It would be awesome. I'm just not going to chase you. Like, I'm not.
Never chase.
I'm not going to do it. Like, it's on you at this point. You know? I mean, I could run it back one more time. And I have the RC card. Like, I could get RC to talk to Ocho and be like, bro, what are we doing? And he would. RC would. But I'm not going to ask him that. Like, I'm not getting somebody else involved in this.
It's not his fight,
It's just
right?
I mean, I'm just not going to do it, bro. But I am very disappointed.
Me too.
And I even went to the thing, was like, bro, I told him when he and I were communicating kind of privately, I was like, look, man, we will get you, we'll get you covered, get you a hotel, we'll get you a rental car if that's what you need. Like, we'll have accommodations. And I told him, look, we'll do the show at Don Juan. I'll buy boxes of your cigars to give to our listeners. Like, make this work. I get it. That's not an easy thing for him to do, whatever. I was like, well, I totally wanted to make it worth his while, you know. Little Dwayne from Thibodeau, bro.
Oof.
That's what he is. I don't know, bro. How you not make good on a bet?
Yeah, I mean, look, man has his word.
Bro, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
You lose some, you bet a man up. It's what it is. You don't like it, don't make a wager. And he's the one who reached out. He was like, let's go. Let's do this. I'm like, okay. And it was Derek Carr.
It was a really bad. I was about to say it was a really bad wager on his part.
He said he was gonna have like 3 interceptions on the season or something. He's gonna throw for 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 3 picks, whatever it was, something like that. Anyway, for those that don't know, we made a wager last year with Ocho, with Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. Like, this is legitimate. This isn't like, it was a real thing that happened. He put out some stat projections. I lampooned it on air. We clipped it, posted it. He saw it, responded. We went back and forth, and he made the wager and was all in, and here we are. We have a growing list. It's Dwayne from Thibodeau, Ocho. Did we put Greeny on the list?
No, I'm not gonna put Greeny. No. Not gonna put Greeny on the list. Not yet, at least.
Well, what do you mean not yet? What if I told you that we were actually
Already supposed to have him this week? Is that where you're going there?
We were supposed to have Greeny yesterday.
Yeah.
And so for those that don't, I'll just give you a little peek behind the curtain for those that don't know how this works. So whenever somebody, and I want to be very clear before I go any further. I like Mike Greenberg a lot. I think he comes across as a genuinely good man. I don't know him. I've never met him or spoken to him before. But I do know a lot of people that work at or have worked at ESPN that have worked with him. And they all, like Jeff Martindale, who's the head of ESPN affiliate relations, has said very nice things about Mike Greenberg. RC. I mean, Swagoo. I mean, I know a lot of people, we know a lot of the same people who all say that the same thing. Very nice man, all that, which great. So just to be very clear about that. But the way this works is like you essentially do like a junket. It's almost like I guess not like a car wash, but they'll block off like, let's say 2 hours. Let's say, all right, Mike Greenberg is available from 11 to 1 Eastern on Tuesday. And they'll send it out to maybe some of their preferred affiliates. I hate to say it that way, but Gordy said on the ESPN affiliate board. I mean, like, we are a very, very good ESPN affiliate. And so we'll get those emails, and you reply what time you want them. And so they book the schedule, and usually it's 10-minute increments. They just line them up, right? I mean, so maybe he'll do 10 or 11 or 12 in a 2-hour block, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And so we were supposed to have Greeny yesterday. Something happened. I don't remember, but something happened with his schedule, and he had to cancel yesterday, which was fine. They said, well, do you want him on Wednesday? He can go right at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. I was like, perfect. Start of the show. We'll start. So that was supposed to happen today. Send the info. And but again, I don't want to come across like we're having a little fun with the whole thing. The Ocho thing does kind of upset me. But this happens. Like, people's schedules get messed up, especially when you're doing like 1,000 interviews in 2 days when you're launching a book. And I get it. I get it. We're Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Yeah. And Lafayette and Lake Charles and Alec. And WBTR and YouTube and podcast.
Yeah, you can really find us anywhere in the country.
We're all over.
Or we got an app.
We're around. Yeah, we got an app.
Yeah. That's how you know you made it. You got an app.
Got an app.
There's an app for that.
There is an app for that. Okay, we're going to get to auto locks. I was going to talk about Brent Venables. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Was over at the Parish office earlier today. Got to see Mr. The Riot. We got some new hats in as well. We got to get a Parish hat party going. Got to book that here. So maybe what we'll do, maybe what we'll do is, so a week from Monday, when we have the Monday Night Football watch with our friends over at Mockler and Bud Light at ESPN Bet at L'Auberge, maybe I'll just bring a whole mess ton of Parish hats, and we'll sling Parish hats there as well. I think that's a pretty good idea.
I like it.
Okay. Hey, Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com. One of the things I do want to remind you is we do offer financing as well. So if you need a roof and you're fretting about paying cash for the roof, or even if it might be a challenge for you to pay your deductible, but this is something you have to get done, we can help. We have financing options. I mean, we have 0% for 12 months. There's a ton of different options that we have. We'd love to walk you through that. So let us know. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. You go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage. Someone will be in touch with you immediately. Roof repairs, replacements, commercial, residential. We just did the roof over at big commercial building off of that big mixed-use building right there on Jefferson and Lobdell. Anyway, got pictures of all our works. Commercial, residential, we can help you. No job too big or small. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Okay, I got a break. Final break of the show. We'll come back, do auto locks. I mentioned auto locks are already live at louisianasports.net. You can get those earlier in the show if you don't want to wait to get them live here on air. But Otto's got a 5-pack of MLB picks. We'll give them to us next as we wrap up the show. It's AFR.
After further review.
All right, y'all, we've hit hump day. You're heading home. Maybe you don't feel like cooking tonight. Just pop on into Rouse's. Yeah, you can go make your groceries over at Rouse's. They've been doing that for 60 years. But remember, you go into Rouse's, they got so many great prepared food options as well. So if everybody in the family wants something different, like you can't agree upon what you want for dinner as a family, let everybody get whatever they want. Just go to Rouse's. I mean, they got prepared sushi. They've got the hot and boiled kiosk. You want some boiled seafood? They got it right there for you. Go to the salad bar if that's what you want. I love their Asian bowls. I mean, they've got like the shrimp and chicken teriyaki fried rice bowl. I love that. I'll get that for lunch sometimes. You pop in. So my point is, there's a prepared food option for you. Want some fried catfish? And get that for you. You want chicken or ribs? They can get that. All the sides and the fixings, you can get that. It's all there at Rouse. And, of course, you want any beer, all your craft beer, huge local selection, great wine selection as well. It's all at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Remember, Pluckers, Nicholson Bluebonnet Trivia tonight, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Get on by, win Pluckers gift cards. Eat wings, drink beer. Where would you go anywhere else? You wouldn't. It's Pluckers. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, where in the world were you last night that you had no Wi-Fi?
Oh, I was at Dinosaur Jr. at the Manship Theater. And
okay.
they do a very good job of not allowing people to hang on there. They got that thing geo-fenced to the inch. You are not. I tried. I'm sure I'm the only one at Dinosaur Jr. to bet the board in MLB on a Tuesday night. But hey, that's what makes me special, huh? That's what my mom used to say.
I get an email last night. It's like, Muse, you were on it. Max, like 10 of us.
I saw it this morning.
It's all caps. Help with exclamation points. He's like, somebody give me scores. I got no Wi-Fi. I bet the board. I'm like, how did you check your email then if you had no Wi-Fi?
I don't, because I hit it, and then when I went out to the concession, I'm a Dinosaur Junior veteran. I brought my earplugs. They were selling them at the concession. I mean, it's like, give me a couple of beers and some earplugs. three songs in, it was like a herd going to the concession to get earplugs. So great stuff, man. I love that. I love that theater, man. That's awesome place.
Manship Theater downtown Baton Rouge really is a great. They had the
whole damn stage full of amps. I mean, they were blowing the hell out of people. All right, let's get to it. We got a full plate.
All right.
Detroit, man, they are right there. We've been talking about them for a while. They won 12 of their last 15, 7 of their last 8. This is a short price at home against Tampa Bay. Detroit money line.
All right.
So one of the teams they caught. Remember, we had them in the sweep when they swept that Kansas.
Oh, by the way,
Kansas
that one started, and Detroit's already up 1-0. It's minus 245. Do we still like it, or do we make a run line play?
No, but Punt put it on the website. So
that's why you got to go to LouisianaSports.net and use our affiliate link as well for BetUS.
All right. The Nationals against Kansas City. Kansas City, only 5 runs scored in their last 6 games. And the one they scored last night was the Ghost Runner in the 10th inning, a 1-0 win in 10 innings. They are ice cold at the plate. We're going to go with Washington plus 15 or so at home.
That one's underway. It's even money plus 100 right now.
There you go. That's fine.
All right.
Yankees lost last night. We're going to bounce right back on them tonight. Stroman anywhere from minus 125 to 30 at home. I like them just to bounce back. Stronger team at home.
All right.
Comparable bit. Then, man, Kramer for Baltimore threw way better than he usually has last night. So that kind of handcuffed us. All right, Boston against Toronto. 2 teams in opposite directions.
1 minute
Boston
remaining.
Hot. Toronto is not. They're looking for a sweep. This kid, Richard Fitz, 6th-round pick out of Auburn. He had 3 career starts. 3 starts in a row. 5 2/3, 5 innings, 0 total earned runs plus money at Toronto with Boston. And another big dog tonight who is sweeping, these inflated prices on these contending teams. Arizona's ice cold. San Francisco red hot with the bat, plus 190 against Gallen, who's been human as of late. So San Francisco with a big money line coming back a big price.
Detroit, the Yankees, Washington, Boston, and San Francisco, your 5-pack in Major League Baseball from the Otter. It's Otterlocks. Make sure you get them over at LouisianaSports.net. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
At the downtown Jolie Pearl.
Awesome.
And they've got Wi-Fi there downtown.
Get out of here. All right, that'll do it for us. Muse Pauly, thanks. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. I always tell you about the patronage refund, which effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. A lot of people think this might be a joke, but they share the profits with their borrowers. So this year, First South Farm Credit distributed $25.5 million back to its borrowers. That effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. It's First South Farm Credit. They've been doing it since 1916, y'all. Since 1916, First South Farm Credit has helped Louisianians buy land. They're first in agriculture. They're first for the 20 acres you may want to buy your family's and build your family's dream home. Maybe it's the 100 acres for that hunting property, that recreational property. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs, reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business. Internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore.